actual picture.
I mean,
Like, no, like the excuse right now is, and so if the interesting part, I didn't give you context, so that room is full of Pally supporters and 3 people that claim they're from Palestine, Gaza, and Palestine, okay?
Yeah,
so 3 of them. Exactly. So then they're all going against each other. If you listen to it, Edward's going, Jack's going. Wednesday, the pro-Pally didn't say anything. Because she's like, oh, fuck, I'm supporting a cause, but these guys just admitted that everybody's terrorists. And she's sitting back now and probably did the right thing and didn't say a word. And then I'm showing you it, and you're like, nah, it doesn't matter what they said. He's not real.
No. The reason I spoke up was not because I'm trying to dispute your account or what he said. It's just simply that literally today.
It's inconvenient for you if Mikhail is actually.
No. I happen to have.
It's inconvenient to your perspective, Buttercup. Just admit that is why you don't want Mikhail to be from Palestine.
I know. But Mixed, you gotta let her finish the sentence.
So the reason I spoke up and maybe got too excited is because literally 3 hours ago I had a same argument with those same characters, Wednesday and that Mikhail and some other guy who claimed to be from Janine, and I told him that I was arguing. My argument was that Hamas is not serving the Palestinian national cause, and they were arguing that it is serving the Palestinian national cause. And he was talking about his family, his immediate family members in Gaza, who are happy to be martyrs for the cause, and how they're really enjoying what's going on there. And to me, that's not credible. I'm sorry.
But Hamas,
Hamas, like, everyone what they do to their Facebook.
Daniel's talking.
I messaged my friend. Let me finish. And then I messaged my friend, who knows this guy Mikhail, and said I don't think he's Palestinian because he's celebrating the deaths of his family members in Gaza right now. His immediate family members.
By the way, that's exactly what these dumb fucks do. They're martyrs. They celebrate that shit.
Okay, well, I believe you, but not
Actually, yes, she's doing exactly what
Nikki, can I respond?
They martyr their own fucking family and children.
I agree. I just don't think Mikhail's one of them.
Go ahead.
Nikki, I know some of them do. Mikhail's not one of them.
That's your opinion. Listen, you know,
I'm about to pretend the evidence. I don't want it.
Okay, people, mute for a minute.
Yeah, Nikki gets hot and heavy.
As Jews, everybody wants to tell us what we are.
I'm a Jew.
Quiet. I'm talking.
Should I disbelieve you
I'm
now?
talking.
Because you're
I'm
not
talking.
the way Jews
I will
normally
move
talk.
everybody
Okay.
down to the fucking audience so I don't get interrupted.
Don't get so angry, people. You just got back.
I know. That's why I'm
Look,
not.
I'm not there, man. I know, but just calm down. No, but let's have a
Today's
productive
not
room.
the day.
Then jump off the
So
apple.
let me finish my thought though. Everybody wants to tell us what we are. BHI tells us we're not the real Jews. Fucking Palestinians and Gazans tell us we don't belong in the land of Israel. It's not our land. Everybody is telling us who we are and what we are supposed to be. What are you doing right now, Buttercup? Listen, I'm not siding with them. I don't like them. Mikhail, especially, he's a vile, disgusting waste of human flesh. But who are you to start telling people what they are? He wants to call himself a Palestinian, let him. He wants to call himself an Israelite, let him. He wants to call himself a Moroccan. I mean, I may get a little pissed off, but let him. Who are you to say what people are? Really and truly, think about it.
Guys, I think the whole point's missed, man. I think what he said was truer than true. Hamas is Gaza, Gaza is Hamas.
It is.
And he was being 100%
He's
accurate.
claiming to speak on behalf of Gaza.
No, but Buttercup, with all due respect here,
He's on behalf of himself.
he speaks on behalf of himself.
About Gaza and Hamas.
And we've been with other people in rooms, and Daniel's been there, and Prince tried to dox this guy, almost brought him in. I think he was live from Gaza, and the totally saying that Hamas murders people. Almost was on a mission for like 2 weeks to try and get Prince because Prince said that he's going to report this guy straight to Hamas to have him killed for speaking out against them. They are all Hamas.
Yeah, I was going to explain to Buttercup. Yeah, so she's saying Hamas isn't serving the Palestinian cause, right? Saying hold on. Hamas. Saying Hamas isn't serving the Palestinian cause is just a way to avoid facing the truth, okay? Hamas is the Palestinian cause in Gaza. It is. They control control it.
It's a
They want
genocidal.
it. They openly shut up. They openly state their goal is the destruction of
Israel, what
Israel.
you're saying is
Not
genocidal.
statehood. That's not them being off track. Can I finish my
That's not
sentence?
genocidal.
That's their core mission. Pretending otherwise is just blocking your ears to reality, Buttercup. If you want to talk about the Palestinian cause, honestly, you can't separate it from Hamas, because Hamas defines where they hold power. Do you understand that?
Quick thing here. You know, you guys are using a lot of words to try to convey a simple topic. Most of these Muslims, they're jihadis.
Oh,
And that's fucking it.
yeah, that
You know,
counts.
it might be inconvenient for most normal Americans who like to be like reasonable with most people. But dude, holy shit. I met a bunch of random Muslims in college and shit, and then seeing the shit they post and the way they act, the way they were fucking, oh, I'm not really like Muslim like that. And then once Trump's up for fucking election, all of a sudden they're super Muslim. They are fucking jihadis. Every random Muslim you know from high school that fucking flies back to fucking Pakistan and gets married there. Super weird. Super, you know. I mean, again, as your average suburban American,
Thank you, that was
like,
insightful.
we give people
Now,
the benefit
Buttercup,
of
do
the
you
doubt.
want to tell us what your friend told you?
They're fucking jihadis.
Great. Buttercup, say your friend had some late-breaking news about the
I think her feelings are hurt.
Kyle. Do you want to share your...
I don't think she's gonna speak right now. She feels targeted, but I want to hear from Dan.
Her feelings are
She is being targeted.
No,
She said that she had relevant
We're up to
information.
Dan. We're up
Anyone in
to
this
Dan.
room
Sorry,
needs to
everybody.
keep
You're up to
asking.
Daniel. We're up to Dan.
Buttercup.
Thank you.
The Palestinian cause, like, do you know what it is?
Yes.
Jihad.
State of Israel. No?
No, guys, I asked Buttercup. But I said, like, Buttercup, do you know what the Palestinian...
It depends who you ask. Hamas or the Palestinian Authority or the regular
The Palestinian... No, you said that... he said that Hamas
So the answer is no. She
is
doesn't know very clearly what...
No, I'm
Just
talking about,
hold on, please.
talking about the aspiration for two states. Does it help or hurt? He says it helps. I say it hurts.
He said it was the Palestinian cause. And now, if you talk about two states, now like Australia is recognized and Canada is rewarding terrorism, they are actually rewarding those terrorists with like a promise of
That's
recognition
the
of.
argument he made. That's the argument he made. That it worked. October 7 worked.
I mean, and what you
Yeah, there
it's
are a
not
lot of
happening.
opinions that say
Like,
Well, I mean, what's left of Gaza though? They slammed it to the ground, so it didn't. I mean, it was. I think people on the
But
ground
what
of
is-
Gaza don't feel like it worked for them.
but yes, but what is the Palestinian
Kyle
cause?
doesn't work.
Aspiration for a state, but not at the expense of like all of their kids. You know.
You think they want to
What is
see?
the cause? Well, exactly what's happening? Like I said,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah. Just let him speak, McSad. I know you have a lot to say.
Quiet.
So Balaka, where are we with the Palestinian cause?
I think if you ask most Palestinians, they don't think October 7 advanced their cause.
What am I asking and what are you answering?
What is their cause? That's what he's asking.
What?
What's their cause?
Yes.
Their cause is free, free a state, whether it's one state or two states, depends who you ask,
No,
right?
no,
It's-
no.
But and you're
said-
right. You got to get rid of those pesky fucking Jews. You know.
Okay, Pepe,
No, some of them want to live, some are willing to coexist, some are not, but depends who you ask.
Happy, did you just say get rid of the
I think-
pesky Jews?
Well, how else can they be free? God damn it! You got to get rid of them.
Good, who?
Can we?
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
Are you having a schizophrenic moment?
No, the
Or are you gonna
Palestinians. Well, okay, but how can the Palestinians like? How can they have Tel Aviv and all to themselves if Jews are there? They can't
But why would they be pesky Jews?
because it was all Palestine.
Oh my God, Happy, did you hit? He woke up with the wrong side of the bed again today.
He woke up with the wrong personality.
You know, I did the shahada yesterday. I'm gonna go fuck a lamb and eat it later.
Okay, have fun.
That can't be halal.
Anyways, back to Buttercup. Go ahead.
The Palestinian cause is basically the destruction of Israel.
Yeah, and also the Palestinians
I think
might now say October 7 didn't help their cause, but Hamas did it.
No.
They did it in their name. Plenty
I'm not talking about-
celebrated it at the time, so you can't just.
I'm not talking about Hamas. I'm talking about the Palestinian cause.
I'm talking about
like
the
you see,
national
like-
aspiration for a Palestinian state, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we see the Palestinian cause all over the world. We
I
see
said
the
aspiration for a state,
Yeah,
which you agree with. You're a two-stater, right, Daniel?
And who's
No, I don't. Who said aspiration for a state? Are you
That's
projecting
what
an
we were
aspiration
talking.
for a
That's how we
state?
were defining it in the conversation. Aspiration for a Palestinian.
No, I'm asking what is the Palestinian cause, not what Buttercup wants the Palestinian cause to be.
There's different views. If you ask Abbas, and he says two states, right? The Palestinian Authority supports two states. If you ask Hamas, they tried to conquer Israel with the October 7th. So it depends who you ask.
No, that's not a cause. That's like a tactic in order to get to a like. That's not the goal to massacre Jews. That's like a way to.
Okay. Well, they actually, if you read the article that I linked, it said exactly what their plan was. Their plan was to conquer Israel.
I don't care about the plan. I don't care about the plan. Okay, I'm asking like, what is the goal? What is the intention? What is the cause?
The cause is to create a Palestinian state alongside Israel. That's the cause. Depends who you ask. We're not talking about Hamas. We're talking about Palestinians.
If that's what it
So
was,
those that are again, I'm not talking about just Gaza. I'm talking about the Palestinian cause. I see them like also a lot in the West. I see it in the UN. I see it in like I like free Palestine from the river to the sea. This is the cause. Do you understand what it means?
We also, guess what? The same slogans in our materials. It's not a unique. I don't people think
Wow,
that
you're
to
so
exactly
good.
not.
Listen, hold on, Nikki, hold on, one second.
Everyone in Israel's wearing a full river to the sea thing around their neck.
When they chant, first of all, if you will open like a map and you would look what happens between the river and the sea, you will see like my house there. Now, when they chant now from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. What does it mean?
I've heard this. I heard some people feel that way.
what is
No, I'm asking you.
Personally, for me,
Nikki,
What I
I don't need help.
so I do hear people using those slogans, and I think that it sometimes it's heard in different ways depending.
You heard people using those slogans.
Yes.
This is the most used slogan that was in the like massive demonstrations that are all over the world.
Sure.
It's not like, and what does it mean?
So it depends who you ask. Some people know what it means, and some people say it just means remove the blockade, like it was when I was in 2004. There was no blockade from the river to the sea, right? When I lived in Israel in 2004, but
Do you think it's a legitimate chant?
we've lived it before, and there was no immediately implosion of the Jewish people from the river to the sea with no blockade.
I'm asking about the chant
It just
itself.
the chant
Do you
means
think it's a
different things.
legitimate?
90% of people who say it don't think of it the way you think of it.
Okay, so you said one example.
There's nothing inherently in the chant that says
90% of people don't know what river or what fucking sea they're talking about.
Nikki, we know. We all watch the same talk points. But,
No, but it's not a fucking joke.
okay, but my point is that inherently the words don't mean to expel the Jews.
It
or kill the Jews.
So what does it mean? So hold on, 1 second, guys.
It just means it means freedom of movement.
First of all, Buttercup, like chillax a bit. And guys, give me like 2 minutes, like to kind of engage. Because like you're just shouting,
No, but as much time as you want, but it sounds like Buttercup is screaming and she's on the defense.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I want her to take a breath and like have a conversation with John instead of fucking kind of like challenging everything.
Yeah.
No, but you are.
Yo, read your DMs. I have my time limits.
No, Buttercup.
What?
Buttercup.
Read your DMs. I have my time limits, nigger.
Let's see here.
That's what it means.
Which part is occupied?
Okay. sea.
Because that's encompassing of the territories instead of just Israel,
So
which
what-
you always tout as a
Right,
great
so-
bastion of democracy.
So when they show in Palestinian embassies, wherever they do have embassies, or like in their marches, when they put a map of Palestine, how does it look like? Does it look like a two-state? Like, do you ever see them chanting for two states, or do they chant free Palestine from the river to the sea? Like, except like us, who is talking really in the Palestinian cause about coexisting alongside Israel?
So, Netanyahu, it was,
Not Netanyahu, I'm talking about the Palestinian cause.
someone handed him an envelope.
I'm talking about the Palestinian cause. And I
I'm
understand
talking about the greater Israel cause, which is even
I'm
worse.
not talking about Israel, I'm talking about the Palestinian cause.
But the greater Israel project is
But the
even worse.
Palestinian cause. Buttercup, please. No more, hold on, no more. Buttercup, please. The topic right now that you brought
Yes,
is the Palestinian cause.
They draw the map the same way Israelis draw the map, exactly the same.
I'm asking what is the Palestinian, sweetie, I understand that you are.
The borders they draw are the same.
Hold on, I
Hold on, son. I'm gonna drop her for a second. I'm gonna drop her for a second because this is fucking crazy to me. That she feels that she has to defend every fucking part of when she responds. This is honestly, Daniel, it's the definition of insanity, bro. I know you're in a good place and you want to ask great things. You're not gonna get anywhere there. She doesn't know how to have a conversation. Everything she thinks she's at the White House, being like. I don't understand. She's debating. Like, she can't have a normal conversation. I'd like to bring her back up and for her to talk normally to you, but she has to. If you say Gaza's doing this, she says, well, Israel's doing this. It's always a tit for tat for her. There's no answer. She can't just say, yes, you're right. Yeah. And then bring it up later in a conversation. Say, by the way, this is what I see is going on as well. It's tit for tat. Every single thing you talk to her about, Daniel.
Daniel, watch your energy. Daniel, you're watch your energy. Okay? The more you say, she win.
That's true. I just wanted to say, and you're masterful at this, Daniel. You have tremendous patience, tremendous domain area expertise, and you're very good at it. And in my view, you're better than me.
And then
What I wanted to say is that, do you know the expression in Arabic? Because we should listen to what they say in Arabic. The very famous expression in Arabic is, from water to water, Palestine will be Arabic. Okay? That's what they say, and that's what it means.
And I want to try one last time, and I want her to come up, and I don't want to tell her what to say. I want to see if she can. Acknowledge what Daniel's saying. You don't have to defend it. It's not a tit for tat. Nobody's throwing rocks at you. You're taking it so personal that I'm starting to think you're from Gaza. And I don't want to think that.
Daniel, you don't listen to what she want to indoctrinate us.
No. We're not going to do that shit. We're not going to do that, Dave. We're not going to do that, Dave. Guys. She's a woman. At the end of the day, we may not agree with her. I want to see if she can actually have a conversation with points that you bring up, and she says, yes, you're right, Daniel. Without trying to fucking... No, let's see, you on her.
No, but she can't.
No, the structure of her
She
communication
doesn't know what she's
is
talking about.
evil.
People that do what she's doing talk out of their ass and really have nothing of value or any knowledge to bring to the conversation. That's why she's doing what she's doing. She can't stay focused. She can't stay on topic. Daniel asked her about the Palestinian cause, and she's bringing up Netanyahu. That's not what she asked.
Much of evil is communication structure. I know, like, Daniel, you probably think, like, fuck, I wish BB didn't get involved right now, but I was watching you go back and forth trying your hardest with her. I know you try even harder with certain other people, but you're not going to get anywhere, bro. She's going to throw a rock at everything you say. If you say, tomorrow Gaza caught 10 pounds of fish, she's going to say, well, Israel only caught 8. Because, no, I'm not joking, guys. That's a problem.
You can't say that the Gazans wanted to do 10
No, but it's not a joke. She's going to find something somewhere. So she is like the localities that are holding Israel, that Israel is not allowed to make any mistakes at all.
Bibi, I don't think you're making a good point, which is that there's ways to listen and engage with what people are saying, much as we can back and forth to win points for one side or the other. And what you're saying is that she's playing this like a game. She's not engaging with any of us, taking in what we're saying. She's sort of rearing up to share again her concerns that we are engaged in a genocide.
Yeah, also we talk about things that Daniel doesn't know.
It's like a trial lawyer tactic, but not all trial lawyers use that tactic because they lose in the end. So some trial lawyers will concede to the point, and then they'll compile all of their evidence at the end and smash the fucking defendant with, like, if the prosecutor had
This isn't litigation.
No, but but I'm listening to her. That sounds like I'm hearing a litigator.
Maybe it's as simple as bickering. If I say it's blue, you say it's red. I say it's big, you say it's small. We can do that for hours, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna get nowhere.
And she purposely say things that Daniel doesn't know. For reference of El Norma, she for the first time used the word Amharic.
What do you mean that Daniel doesn't know? Daniel knows Amalek.
What do you mean, Dave?
Norm knows the word Amalek.
Yeah, for Daniel, the Amharic word just flow through from left ear to the right ear.
No, because he knows that, though. Daniel knows that, Dave.
I know, but she just say greater Israel when Daniel say river to the sea.
No, I think Dave was. I think McSeg was 100% right on it. He's bickering.
Dave, he didn't go. I just didn't. The topic was different, so I didn't address it because that's not the topic about Israel and all that jazz.
But
The
all
topic
the Muslims want to speak now is.
But Dave, I understand, but you're doing it. Like, you are the one bringing back this nonsense. I was actually not engaging with this, and I was trying to go back to the conversation, and now you're bringing it back.
Okay, so why don't we bring her back? Why don't we bring her back up so that way we can have a conversation?
I think it comes from this moral superiority complex.
Like oppositional defiance disorder. She's rebelling against her.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is, and that's what a teen does when you're telling your child you can't go out, it's late. But I went out yesterday. But Billy's family lets him go out.
But you went out. Yeah, but you went out.
No, that's the whole thing. So you end up, and they made it illegal to beat your kids. It's probably because a lot of
Oh my God, you
no, but it's probably because a lot. Yeah, a lot of that's what adolescents do. So like when I was a kid, my mom said, "Don't say don't say no," and I said, "Okay, how come?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "I didn't say no." I said, "How come?" That's an adolescent immature thing to do. That's what I want to see. Because I do believe she probably has some good points. They're lost. So she sounds like a psycho because she's acting like one. Because it's bickering back and forth and it doesn't make sense what the fuck she's saying. So her good points are not good points anymore. They're just bickering. It's exactly what McSed said, and people in the chat, they got it.
I didn't recall one good point from her.
No, I know. I'm just saying she might have a Glenn, but I haven't heard it because she doesn't allow it because she's constantly feeling the need to fucking defend her oppressor, her murderer. She wants to defend the people that want to kill us and her if she's a Jew. That's the craziest shit. That's not Stockholm syndrome, right?
Well, no. If I recall,
I don't trust.
Modern Zionists and Israelis to push away from the notion that the state of Israel is providing safety and security for them, and to lean more on the idea that going to America would be safer for the Jews, or acting differently. If the state of Israel was like more the way she felt it should be, then she wouldn't have these.
I want to hear a revenge text, and I don't want anybody to disrespect him or whatever. He can come up and go back down. Because you're saying that's not her view. Can you elaborate on what her view is? And you have the mic for a minute or two. Can you come up? Because if you're seeing a different view, I would love to hear it. And then I give my opinion afterwards, and you don't have to be on stage, so we don't have to argue. Do you mind joining the stage? Because 9 out of 10 people in this room see a different view. and I want to know the angle you're standing from, what you're seeing, or do you think exactly like her? I'm just curious. Do you mind joining the stage?
Wait, who are you talking to?
Rubenchen. I've sent him an invite. I don't know if he's coming up. Is anybody else gonna invite him?
I can.
Ruben Chick is very gentle. He doesn't like to fight.
And like I said, I welcomed him on the stage. Nobody argue with him. Nobody talk with him. Don't disrespect him. I just want to hear his opinion, and then he can bounce back down. I know it's hard in the chat and in text sometimes, or most of the times don't express emotions, and I want to know what you honestly think. And I'm with my humblest respect, I'm asking if you can come up and explain it.
He's saying that she has a good heart. He said that in the chat.
That doesn't tell me that she's coming from a good place.
You can't have a good heart without a good head, or else the heart will just like bleed all over the place. My question is, what proves that she has a good heart? That she like is worried that she might be from a community that's committing a genocide? That doesn't give you a good heart.
Most definitely not. By putting down trying to help. That's what I'm trying to get at. Who the fuck is she trying to help? It doesn't like she's trying to help us.
She has like
Psychology.
for her fellow man, that she's displaying empathy that's like constructive and valuable and good for the world. How? Because she feels bad what the state of Israel is doing? Who's that helping? At all? I feel good about what the state of Israel is doing. Does that mean I have a good heart?
She has a good heart with no wisdom that this will destroy Israel. She has a good heart but without wisdom that is dangerous.
A good Hillel rabbi told me these pro-Pali people are some of the best intentioned people in the world.
Oh, that's why they're paving the road to hell.
Yeah. It's basics. I don't know why we're in this stage in history, but yeah.
She has not got a good heart. It's actually bullshit. Having a good heart means being honest about suffering on both sides, not excusing or downplaying violence when it suits your view by trying to defend or make excuses for groups like Hamas. She shows she's more interested in protecting an ideology.
Sorry for 1 second.
An ideology.
If you keep putting bullshit in the chat, I'm removing you from the fucking
Yeah, that's
room.
what she does.
Do it one more time.
So that's not compassion, that's selective empathy.
Don't remove anybody, please.
No, but
It's
look
not,
what he's writing bullshit in the chat.
No, but Buttercup also said that to live in some Hasbara la la land. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe just let me say something. I'm going to leave.
Who's writing what?
Don't get me wrong. But listen to me for a second. This person, Buttercup, is using nothing but Palestinian talking points.
I am noticing
These are the exact same things. These are the exact same things that these pro-Palestinians do on X. They do it on Clubhouse. They do it on Twitter. They do it on TikTok. They do it everywhere. For her to have the chutzpah to even say Hasbara, Lala, whatever she's fucking saying. Honestly, this person is abhorrent. She's sick. She's mentally ill. She's a self-hating Jew, and she shouldn't get a stage anywhere. And I'll say this in Hebrew to you, Buttercup, because you're fluent in Hebrew. Efes should have been enough. Efes.
That's great, man.
The hammer just got smashed on the table.
Man, I felt that aftershock. It's good.
And he's right. He's right. I think our heads were in our good intentions yesterday, and I don't think we'll give up. But we keep spending so much time, and it becomes a point where you have to give tough love. Like if you were to have a crackhead as a child, you can't keep giving that child $10. You got to put them in rehab.
Buttercup, write it in Hebrew because you're fluent. Yalla. We'll see how fluent you are in Hebrew. You speak 2 words in Hebrew, you're fluent. You live near Jerusalem. We'll need a green line for 1 year, and you're Israeli. What do you think you are? You think you know everything about Israel because your family lives there?
She doesn't know shit about Israel.
We say beseder.
He wanted me to. Tim, I sent it to you. I sent the domain to you. John for Congress
fucking
with the
shit.
number 4. John JOHN for Congress. Cindy's asking what it is you want.
Don't believe
Here,
what.
she said, I knew you'll have it what? What'd she say? I knew I have it what?
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, we love.
It's already done.
Many of you
Might take a
suffer
second for
because
yourself.
this is the
Might
same
take you a
talking point.
So fast.
Might take a while for you because it's cash, but it's already done.
Now came with the Jews, and that shocked you, and that made you suffer.
No, the problem is, this is the problem. When you go
The
into
other
like
dumb
Amir's rooms, Scotty's rooms, and all
You're the
that,
man. I never thought I'd say that.
you
but
really,
you're the man.
really
There you go.
have
You
to
can
have
have
your head
my
and your heart. Your head, first of all. Your head has to be in the right place because it's so. I've seen it. It's easy for these people to go in there, get fucking confused. It's like a dryer. They get spun around, thrown out. And you know, like when somebody wakes up with like bedhead and their hair's everywhere and shit, yeah, they don't know what the fuck, which way to go, left or right. And that's what happens. So when your mind's not strong, it's not equipped properly, you go in there and you come back and then you start speaking to your fellow Jews and you start poking at them and saying, it's because of you we're going through this. Because they start listening to it and they start believing the lies. Like Harry was in there last night and they were playing a video for her, or the night before, playing a video of Shlomi that they recorded him. And in the background, you hear guys are saying, I hope you wish you would have died. And some people were asking questions. No, but she said, after they played the video, and Shlomi said, yeah, I think he said, if it's, because I was in the room there, I'm not sure if that was part of the clip, that he heard helicopters. That's it. I never started seeing, I never seen anybody shooting anybody. But anyways, watch my point. So she said, that was really nice the way you guys treated him. Oh my God, that was really nice of you guys. A guy screamed, I wish they would have killed you too. But maybe she didn't hear that. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Then they said, look, you heard, Shlomi just admitted they did the Hannibal directive. He's seen the Tomahawk helicopter shooting people. And they went with a complete lie from something that they played and tried to obscure it. And the whole room is agreeing with the liar. And then she's in there. And the problem is she's thinking with her heart and not her head, which now makes her question her own identity and hate her own people. And then she'll say that she loves her people, but I think she's confused. And I could be wrong.
Bibi, you are not wrong. There are many rooms. They say Quran philosophy, Islam philosophy, Islam is peace. When you go in, there are 2-3 is Muslim. They stage the dialogue. So that people come in, they buy into their narrative. So there are a lot of traps in Clubhouse, and we waste a lot of time talking nothing but without helping these gullible people to prevent those traps in the Clubhouse.
No, and that's why we need to have more stages like this where Jews can be free. They don't have to get lost to get entertained over there. And we can have some spicy moments. Like we invite Pep to the room.
It shows their hatred is eating away at them because they watch these innocent people being murdered, raped, and dragged from their homes, and then try to excuse it as part of some cause. It shows how twisted their thinking really is. And a healthy person calls out evil when they see it. They see it, they call it out. And when somebody bends over backwards to justify terror, that isn't strength or conviction. It's just sickness. They're mentally sick.
Now you're being very Islamophobic right now.
Oh yeah.
You are being very Islamophobic right
There's
now.
no such thing as Islamophobia.
Give me a moment.
No such thing.
No, because they are jihadis, and you're not respecting their culture or religion. Tobias.
Are you trolling, bro?
Are you being sarcastic?
Yeah, he is.
You think it's sarcastic, but it's factual.
Amazing.
We're having a serious
Amazing.
conversation here about people.
Thanks.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or what.
You just don't
He's trying to make a joke, and he's trying to cover
joke.
being terrible.
Yeah, I know the joke didn't land, bro.
Good timing, Taco. Good timing, bro.
It's not even trying to be funny. They are jihadis. It's part of their religion.
But you just going back to your earlier comment about them all being jihadis, which is also not helpful.
Well, it's pretty.
Hold on, Taco. Everybody laugh.
Or jihadi supporters.
That's funny, bro.
Well, it comes back to this idea that it is okay to discriminate. Because if most of them, a lot of them are jihadis or jihadi supporters, and they won't do anything to stop that, and you accept it as an element of their religion and culture,
We've come to
then you
pro-discrimination position.
well, yeah, it's because in your mind, you thought to yourself, I don't ever want to discriminate.
Right.
It's like a bathroom for men and women.
Sounds like a straw man is about being knocked over.
It discriminates based on sex, and that's okay.
The problem is the parallel society right now. Just like Taco said, there are many people who are peaceful. But within this parallel society, the peaceful Muslim have no voice. They are afraid to say the truth. That is the problem.
That's part of the problem. I think there's also a lot of peaceful, quiet Muslims that support the evil cause.
Yes, that's what I go with.
I turned off the chat for all the keyboard warriors if they want to come up. Because I'm sick of the same guy.
When come to election, this silent one, peaceful one, will be pushed by the radical one to vote for the Muslim in order to have a mayor Muslim. This is how we get 20 over mayor Muslim in UK, 20 over MP in Muslim MP in UK. And once they come in, they do the same playbook like IRGC in Iran. That's how the same playbook. So we know they are peaceful Muslim. The problem is within the parallel society in Western nation, they are subjugated by the radical political. They have no voice.
Bring him back.
I think it's a fallacy. I think behavior of individuals doesn't erase the doctrines of the faith, and a lot of Muslims may be peaceful in practice, but that's often because they ignore or soften parts of it, that makes sense, not because the religion itself is harmless. So I see that as fallacious.
Religion is whatever the religious make of it.
I got a question. What do you guys think is more dangerous, an indoctrinated, sympathizing Jew or a terrorist?
That's simple. History has proven that the most dangerous thing the world has ever seen is a Jew that takes sides against the community.
Big 100 for that. I think it's the most dangerous, unstable, problematic thing Jewish face. If people
you
face.
You could say Jesus. You could say Paul. You could say Turkemada. You could say Marx. Jews that take a side against Judaism are dangerous for the world.
The pro-Hamas demonstrations, there will always be like a bunch of useful idiot Jews that will hold a sign that says not in our name. You know those, right?
Yeah, I see one of those people.
Hold on, yeah. And this is out of 16 million Jews, half of them in Israel, and like very small population. Out of 2 billion Muslims, how many went to the streets and held a sign after what Hamas did and say, not in our name?
I think there was like maybe a dozen in Gaza, but their families all got slaughtered.
Like anywhere in the Western world, like 10 guys with a board that they write, not in our name, or even like release the hostages. Where are they?
Yeah, where's the Muslims are the jihadis?
How come
how come there's none on our side? Ever.
This is what's crazy. Like the Jews, like with the not in our name bullshit, as if it's in their name or if it's like in the names of Judaism. Like fuck you, and
I have a
they always go there.
to do it.
And the others like none.
Palestine. I've never heard of Muslims for Israel.
Or Muslims or queers.
But that's fine. But listen. Queers for Palestine. I know that brand. I'm aware of it. Guys, very simply, it's not like a trick question. Where is the of the billion Muslims in the world? Where is the slogan Muslims for Israel? Where is it?
Don't tell them short. There's 1.8 billion of them.
That's great. Where is the slogan Muslims for Israel? Queers for Palestine.
It doesn't exist.
Muslims for Israel. Where is it? There are way more Muslims than there are queers.
Think about that, guys. How deep that is. So you have two types of people protesting. You have pro-Palestinians and then you have pro-Israeli Zionists protesting on opposite sides of the street. On the one side of the street where it's pro-Palestinians, you'll have Jews over there. On the Zionist and Israeli and Jewish side, you have just Jews. How scary is that our own people are walking over to the other side? How fucked up is that? That doesn't make sense to me. And people are going off, and I'm going to turn the chat back on, but going off and defending Buttercup and defending other fucked up situations. And you sympathizing Jews and Zionists, you're problematic, man. You want to see peace? You need to stop fucking talking. Book a surgery where they remove your tongue, because you're dangerous. Remove a couple fingers because you can't type, so you don't type either. You are doing more harm to the Jewish people than you know.
So the people here want peace, except what they want is peace by being subjugated. What the American Israel leader want, peace is through strength. That's why we are different. Buttercup, peace by being surrendering. We want peace by deciding the future of Israel.
No, but after I said all that, I think the Muslims serving the IDF, but what is that? Is that, are you trying to say, like, I could be wrong, Enigma, but are you trying to say, because I said about the protest, that Jews are on the Palestinian side, but there's nobody on our side? Are you trying to say, well Muslims serving the IDF? Is that what that is?
No, I think the interpretation of peace, people like Rubenchik, believe in peace by coexistence, by subjugation.
I never said Muslims don't support Israel.
I'm not saying you, Bibi. I'm not saying.
No, I'm reading her chat because that's the thing. So it's the same. So I'm starting to see a same pattern here with Rubenchik, Enigma, and Buttercup. They're all doing that tit for tat shit.
Exactly. I think two days ago you stand up and you saw the pattern and you mobilized us to see the truth. I suspected it, but you stand up and you help us to see the truth, right? I suspected for some time now, but after Buttercup, after he said, so be it if the Jewish become the minority, so be it. What is more important is the principle of democracy, whatever the cost, with no wisdom. If this lead to high-risk social experiment that will lead to the complete destruction of Israel, so be it. The ideology of democracy, total 100% pureness, is far more important.
The West gotta get it together, bro. Okay? Thanks.
That's the little commercial, guys. It's a paid advertising. Don't do drugs. And George will come off the mic every once in a while to remind you guys why you shouldn't do narcotics.
I love it. Thank you.
But yeah, I think that's a big problem, and
I support that message.
yeah, he supports it. But do you guys see what I'm seeing, or am I getting too deep, like thinking too deep into it? This tit for tat shit is very problematic. Do you guys agree with that statement?
It's just they try to find some kind of way to defend their stance no matter what. That's what she does. She knows she's wrong. She wants to come in here and stir the pot, and people play into it, and try to have this long-winded 3-hour debate with her. At the end of the day, it's just pointless. Like, listen, she'll be in the mirrors, and if you guys can catch that, go in there and see how she acts in those rooms. She's she'll try to come in here and say, oh, but I want a free democratic Israel. I want everybody to live in harmony, peace, and harmony. And then she'll go in there and agree with everything that they say about, taking over Israel, wiping out the Jews, and supporting Hamas. It's just pretty much just a fence sitting. Like, I don't even want to call it fence sitting because it doesn't even. To me, it's not fence sitting. She comes in here and says the opposite of what we agree with. So, like I said, it's just a waste of time. She's just a lost cause, or she's just doing this for attention. I don't know. And you guys are giving her plenty of.
The framing of the Palestinian cause sounds always like very wholesome, no free Palestine. Like, it sounds good. It's like even what she's like, I'm supporting the free democratic Israel from the river to the sea. I mean, it sounds amazing, right? Like as if like our neighbors just want to like hug us and kiss us, and they throw us like flowers over the borders all the time. She's basically, again, unknowingly supporting Hamas's cause, the Palestinian cause, of the destruction of the Jewish state. And I think that we have the 2 billion silent Muslims, and we have the useful idiots in the West that are constantly attacking and blaming Israel for everything, and blaming the Palestinians for literally nothing. Like Hamas, oh, I condemn Hamas, let's move on. No. They put zero responsibility, zero accountability to the Palestinians, but they want to give them an autonomy of the state. It's a delusion. And the fact that Jews, instead of like realizing that they join those that are basically delegitimizing Israel, which is exactly what Hamas is doing from the beginning of the war, doing this war of truth, this propaganda campaign from the genocide to the ethnic cleansing to the starvation to Netanyahu. Netanyahu did this. And on the other side, what did the Palestinians do? Meanwhile, the Hamas leaders are flying to Turkey and to Qatar, and they're like, and the ICC wants to put an arrest warrant on Netanyahu. No one is like, Hamas are a terrorist group. But according to the UN, they're not a terrorist group. And Palestine has a seat in the UN. But who is the condemning? Israel. And the fact that Jews participate in this is mind-blowing. Because they, like, the thing that, I was asking Baraka many times, and I was like, when you kind of jumped in, I was actually about to give in, because it looks like it's not about the truth. It's about just like, what about Israel? And most of the pro-Palestinians, the only thing that they know about Palestinians is Palestinian victimhood from Israel. Whatever they did, Israel is the biggest joke, so we expect Israel from the Palestinians, we expect nothing. So obviously, if the Palestinians are suffering, it's because of Israel. It's so simple, and whenever you want to try to kind of open it, take down the blockade, they say. Why the fuck would take out the blockade? The blockade is there for a reason, because they blow up. So it's all like, I don't get it. I get that the people that are useful idiots in the West, and those slogans actually work, and those chants are cute, and you have the accessories, the kafia, and you have all the talking points, and you feel smart, and you feel moral, and you feel humane, and you feel that you're fighting for the right thing. You're not. You're actually supporting Nazism. And when they would wake up to realize that they were actually supporting Nazism, God bless them. Good luck.
It's very interesting, Daniel. She just said, I'm sorry, I just want to say one thing. She just said that, Amir is has intellectual integrity and honesty, and it's just so interesting to me how she gets to that point.
Do you guys not see people just on any issue, even outside of this? You don't see how many people hate capitalism. They think that whether it's America, we're just evil to the core. They deny the foundation of our country. They delegitimize it. Therefore, it should all be torn down to the ground because we have an original sin. These people always fucking exist. You see these assholes, they undermining their own countries and cultures and values and just everything. I mean, why? To me, I just look at that Buttercup girl. She just seems like one of them to me. I mean, it's not surprising. They've been around forever.
So I need 30 seconds for solution to Buttercup. Singapore face problem like this. The leader of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, faced 20, 30 Western journalists criticizing Singapore democracy, right? But so that's just the same thing like Buttercup is doing, challenging Israel democracy, right? And what you need is strong leader like Lee Kuan Yew, but now you have you need a strong leader for Israel, and this strong leader will speak to every single Jews of you. There shall be no weak Jews.
I want to add something what Bibi said because he has a question about the anti-Zionist, lesbian, self-hating Jews, which in my opinion are the worst, really the worst we have. So the answer is, why is that? And I know some people here, even Jews, don't hold of the Tanakh, but the Tanakh has the answer. The answer of the Tanakh is that it states very clear that no nation can defeat the Jewish people. And we have seen that throughout history. Even the Nazis were not able to annihilate us, right? So who is the only nation who can destroy the Jewish nation?
Us.
Exactly. It's in the Tanakh. Exactly.
I mean, do you think she's just? Do you think she's? I've struggled to ask myself, why did these people hate everything about like maybe who they are, whether they're like a Westerner, the country they come from. They'll excessively harp on how evil or bad their country is. They'll side with people that.
Hold on. Did Enigma just get triggered and expose herself?
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, she's already exposed herself before that, but that was the cherry on top.
Right now is the cherry. The Torah and the Tanakh are both vile books that are not even good enough for toilet paper.
You guys hear this?
Oh my God.
She's after me right now, so that's okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just please, anybody, just recognize that this person is not an ally or a friend at all, okay?
That's weird.
So, and she's a Nazi lover. Yes, Norm, she is. She said there was good Nazis. No, there's not one good Nazi ever. And anybody that says that is a Nazi lover.
Wow. I can't believe
it's psychosexual, guys. Psychological in the sexual realm. Thank you.
Wait, I thought she was the one that was claiming to be a psychologist, and she didn't know.
Exactly.
Claiming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was asking her very psychologist. I mean, I was asking her some very basic questions that she could not answer. It was.
No, you cornered her, bro.
They have authority. They got wisdom.
And you're not the smartest guy either, and you cornered her. I'm joking, but you're a smart guy. But you cornered her, and she didn't respond. She couldn't respond. I remember that day. It was about the theories on
Psychopathy.
Yeah.
Sociopathy.
Yeah. And one more. There was one more. And and then she said it was both behavior, and you're like, no. There's different traits, and she said they're exactly alike. Anyway, I don't want to give these people any air, but she just, for those of you that are like defending her in the chat and saying, no, she's a great person, she just said the Torah and the Tanakh is vile, and it's not even worth using as toilet paper. So,
don't worry. I'm never gonna forget that, and no one on here will forget that because I screenshotted that. So, yeah, I'll definitely put that as my PTR next time I see her and Ruben Cook. Because they love each other, so yeah. What are you confused about?
I thought she was Jewish or some shit.
No, she's not.
Yeah, I thought so too.
She's not Jewish. She's not Israeli. She says she has family in Israel, which means nothing. And that's it, but then she's going to come tell other Jews and Israelis how to think and what they can say. It's funny. It's kind of like what Buttercup does. So, very similar. I think they're all friends with each other. Seems about right.
That's creepy, bro. Can it be me?
But it's that easy to get these people exposed, you see? So, Just this is a wake-up call for everybody.
And she's addressing it to a panther, a clergy woman. That's the craziest thing. Never mind that there's Jews
starting
here.
for me. Yeah, she's going after me now. It's okay.
It's okay. We know who Grace is. We don't need her to certify who Grace is. And if you're that interested, Enigma, you can see there's a reality show coming out. It's called Angry Clergy Wives.
That's me now.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that on HBO next week.
Just one comment. Torah and Tanakh. Torah is part of Tanakh. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And so the world turns.
See, that's like bad writing. It's like bad AI. What? Enigma?
She's telling me that every shul she's been to allows for diversity of opinions.
Wait, why does she go to shul? She's not Jewish.
Kol hakavod to her.
She's talking about Buttercup, who claims to be Jewish, not Enigma. But I don't believe Buttercup is actually Jewish. Her dad might be Jewish, but that doesn't make her Jewish. Maybe that's the only connection that she does have to Judaism, or she's just so obsessed with Jews that she's learned how to say a couple words in Hebrew, and she's pretty much really studied up on all this shit about Israel and all the conflict about Israel and Palestine and all this bullshit. But there's some people that are so obsessed with this topic that they could be somebody like her, actually. So I wouldn't be shocked.
Isn't it true that you guys do question
the Freud movie?
I mean, you guys have told me, not necessarily you guys in here, but that you are taught to question everything and debate and all that crap.
What's that? What'd you say?
When it comes to Judaism, like you guys are encouraged to ask questions and even debate.
Yeah, absolutely. You should ask questions, right? And you should be for what's right. So you're supposed to ask questions and fight for what's right. Now, if I'm telling you that once as a compassionate human being would be like, oh my God. Not, but what happened in 1947? You get the point, right? Pepe?
Monkey.
She's holding me, her feet to the fire, that every shul she's been to allows for diversity. And I want her to know that diversity of not wanting us to exist, it's not diversity.
I mean, bring her to a Sephardic shul. I want her to tell me how that's going to work out for her.
That's going to be hilarious. Please bring her to a Sephardic shul. Come play with the Moroccans.
They're trying their best.
But that's why the diversity argument I've always thought was kind of bullshit. Even diversity of opinions is not necessarily a good thing.
It's not good.
Hate is not diversity.
Diversity is not good.
Hate is not diversity. That's extreme. Obliterate that.
There's poor slaves.
What was that, like, Blazing Saddles, where they're trying to, like, hire, like, a bunch of, like, killers? And they had, like, bandits, they had, like, jihadists, they had, like, banditos, just all these unsavory characters, and it's, like, diversity, but they were, like, the worst people, that just came to mind.
Listen, it's leftist talking points, far left talking points. There's other people on the app that are just like that. One of them is from Israel. His name's Amos. So, I mean, it's not too shocking to hear that from her, because other people really do believe in the same shit that she does. And somebody mentioned it earlier that you see these other American Jews that end up holding these Palestine flags and stuff at the pro-Palestine protests. She's one of those people. I would not actually shocked to know that Buttercup has attended one of those pro-Palestine protests.
out in the street, and she might be somewhere on the internet, holding pro-Palestine or a flag and marching with them in the pro-Palestine protest. I wouldn't be shocked if she's in one of those videos.
Fucking Olympic world, road to hell.
Diversity is what fucked everything up. I mean, the big turning point in Britain was Tony Blair's government, who promoted mass immigration and multiculturalism that encouraged communities to live together side by side by knowledge rates. It was sold as diversity, but the results speak for themselves. If you look at what's happened now, and how politicized it has become.
The crazy part about it is that the Muslims that come to this country, at least to America, or any other country, even London or United Kingdom, Europe, or anywhere in Europe like France, Germany, the Netherlands, that's the last thing that they want. There's diversity. They exclude themselves from anything but diversity. They have Sharia law courts in the UK, in London. You might be familiar with that, Tobias. I think you're from there.
Yeah.
So that's the complete opposite of that.
Absolutely.
Monkey.
And I think there's 86
They're
other.
committing suicide in Europe. Like, I don't even know why. Like, it is so fucking offensive just to see the goddamn mayors with the fucking hijabs and shit. Like, that should not be tolerated.
What? There's mayors with hijabs? Says good lore.
Yeah, he's talking about in London. That's what he's talking about.
I'm not gonna.
There's mayors in London with hijabs. No, bro, no.
Somebody who.
Stop.
If you have to swear in using a fucking I don't want you. I just don't think you belong in a Western country.
Stop. Are you serious? There's Western mayors with hijab. What are you talking about, Pepe?
Yeah, but
bro, I told you. I do not need George, I told you every 10 minutes jump in and remind people not to take drugs.
George eats a little bit too many mushrooms today on his pizza.
It's amazing. I love George, man.
I do too.
Oh, fuck, George, you are you're the book of knowledge, man. You're just so funny.
I love you guys. I'm dead on.
But he's got a good excuse. He's like, the mouth don't work as fast as the brain, he says.
I love it. I love it.
What should I been?
So what's the solution, people? What do you guys think the solution is? Do we? I know. Sorry, guys. Yeah, do not use drugs. Okay, hold on. What's the solution? Do you think? Do we? And I don't want to be cruel or anything like that. And I'm asking you guys, as actually, some of my friends that are on a social app. Do we excommunicate with them? Do we tolerate? Do we try to teach them? Do we give up? Because I know the word giving up is very bad. Do we keep trying to help? What's like Enigma? That's she's not Jewish. There's no point of helping her. For what you just said is completely crazy.
She said she offered a solution and we called her a careful.
Well, she just said that the Tanakh, the Torah, is vile, and she wouldn't use it as toilet paper. But her point is...
Enigma that said that, not
That's what I'm saying, Enigma. I'm not talking about Enigma. I'm talking about Enigma. Enigma, there's no point. She's a write-off. It's a write-off. But I'm talking about
I have a great solution.
Go ahead.
I think we should love diversity, peace, holding hands, and hating the far right, and at the same time we should wave flags for those far right fascist women-hating gay killing groups on the planet. I think that way we're going to make a lot of progress.
Okay.
Why don't you guys? Do you guys? I know there's not many Jews in the world, but I'm gonna say this. It's gonna sound very offensive, but you get these woke justice warriors that are, not Jewish as far as I know of. Maybe some of them are, but they'll advocate for things that I think are just harmful for society, and then you'll hear about them getting maybe raped and murdered by one of the people they're advocating for. If one of these girls just think of it on October 7th.
That thing that just happened recently with the gay guy.
What happened?
You know, the guy that was marching Queers for Palestine, what happened to him? Do you guys remember that? Like a week or two ago? Does anybody remember that story?
I didn't read about that.
You don't remember the guy, I think he got killed?
No.
Or something happened recently, 2 weeks ago?
I've
The
been crazy busy last couple of weeks. I missed that one.
There was a guy that was like, he was part of the protest and all that stuff, Queers for Palestine. Something, I don't know if he got killed or he got the shit kicked out of him or something. He was asked, and people were asking, like, why? But why? Nobody remember? No, okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Well, I almost think that, like, some of those people you just have to let them. Hopefully, they learn their lesson before something bad happens to them. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, if Hamas was willing to kill, like, peace-loving, or, you know, like, hippie peaceniks in the kibbutz is there, like, I mean, that, like, advocated for the Gazans and shit. I mean, they'll obviously don't really give a fuck about what you believe. They'll kill you just based on your identity.
Well, I mean, they just must have very low IQ, right? I mean, plain and simple. Supporting groups that would kill you while hating the one place that protects your rights. That isn't activism, that's just stupidity beyond belief.
Well, you know, women tend to vote, you know, far, you know, left a bit more often, and especially in these European countries. Yet, you know, there's places that, from what I've heard, in like Lyon or parts of Paris, where it's like really getting uncomfortable and unsafe for women to walk around. Good, let that happen to them. They get raped, hit on constantly, harassed, assaulted. That's their fucking problem. They can sleep in this shit because that's what they voted for. That's what they advocate for.
Yeah, I agree. Let them learn a lesson. And you know, actually, you brought up France. There was some like music festival there a month or two back, and there was women that were getting tested for like being drugged, and like there's guys going around in the crowd like sticking needles in women that were in the crowd there. So yeah, I mean that shit's dangerous as fuck. They bring in people from all these fucking crazy countries, these refugees and terrorists and criminals, and look what happens. Fucking scary shit.
Well, do you think it's a sort of natural
natural
selection, right? Because nature weeds out the stupid. And it's the perfect example of it. If you're dumb enough to shit your own executioner, then you shouldn't be surprised when reality catches up with you.
I agree. London's also bad.
No, it's not a statement.
Yeah, exactly. I think Poland learned very well from the rest of their neighbors.
אנחנו צריכים לתת הכי הטוב, הגנים והתוכל לכולם. אנחנו צריכים לתת הכי טוב, גנים והתורה לכולם. הם יכולים לעשות מה הם רוצים. אבל זה הכי טוב דבר לכל הילדים של העולם.
That commercial is brought to you by methadone. If you don't want to get on methadone, it's about taking drugs.
I wonder if Buttercup understood what you said, because she speaks Hebrew.
Yeah, she speaks fluent.
Yeah, she does. She's speaking to me now.
Oh no, I would like her to speak out loud because it's easy to type.
right? It's called Google Translate. Anybody can do it. I've seen a terrorist on here use it, so that's why I'm not like impressed by her writing.
She's copying it from Google fucking Translate.
Of course she is. She tried to speak Hebrew the other night, and I was laughing my ass off. So I don't. No, it's just all good. It's writing in Hebrew, you can speak in Hebrew. So she's herself. I believe it. Sakar, do you think that she's a Muslim or Arab? I saw your thing in the chat. I think that's actually.
Yes. I guess I recall her. We had a debate months ago, even I guess a year ago, and she reminds me of that woman speaking. I was speaking with her, yes, on stage, and she was an Arab living in Israel. I will check this out.
That's what you said, so, yeah.
Yes, so look, I said Sfadim, Buttercup, please come up. I have some questions. Really, if you have Sfadim, very, very easy to answer. Come up.
Come on, Buttercup, try to impress us with Hebrew, come on.
Are we inviting her up or what?
We are, but she's saying there's too many haters, Simone.
Okay, nobody's hating. Just come up, come on. And she's saying she's Ashkenazi.
She doesn't have to come up. She doesn't want to come up. Fuck that. We're not gonna beg her to come up. Fuck that shit. She doesn't make the conditions here. We do.
You're not an English Christian, right? Yeah, exactly.
Listen, you guys are wrong. It's like let's do a terrorist negotiation deal here. Let's give back some awesome terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
Psychology? I don't know. I don't think it's.
Oh, it's gonna work. Don't worry.
You're cracking me up. Yeah, come
It's my
on.
first time talking to people like her on here. Trust me.
Awesome.
This whole app is full of haters. It should be called Hater House, not Clubhouse.
No,
but anyway.
haters are
I'm curious, does she spend more time in these rooms or in Amir's rooms?
Good question. When this room is over, she'll spend the majority of her time over there. You see, it's like she does half and half. You know?
Oh my god, Amir's rooms are the same. Like, I've literally been gone from the app for like 4 months. I come back, I go in Amir's room one day, and it's the same shit.
Bubbles.
It's ridiculous.
What did you expect her to come back on the app 4 months later and they're gonna be like, we love this room?
I don't know, maybe.
George, what did you say about bubbles? Yo, George, do you remember when you were young and you were playing with bubbles? Like, you used to blow bubbles?
Yeah.
I saw you at the other day. You should say hi to anybody.
What? Bubbles. Bubbles what?
I see bubbles the other day. You should say hi to anybody.
Bubbles?
They said, do you remember when you used to blow bubbles when you were younger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sikar, just ask your question and maybe Buttercup will type her answer in the chat.
I'm just curious, like, what was Buttercup's position? Did she want like a two-state? What does she want? Like, what does she think should happen?
I think she said two-state.
No, she wants one state to say free democratic forward.
Oh, that would be amazing. Then you guys will be forced into a minority. And
That's how she's going to take.
amazing. That's smart.
And then she doesn't understand why we get upset by this idea, which I understand why it's packaged very nice, free liberal democracy for all, which is the basic, because our neighbors are like Swiss.
Did you know she says she has Jewish credentials?
What is that? I have
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm reporting. I'm not the reporter. Don't Don't shoot me.
I mean,
Where do you guys get your due papers? Who issues those out?
I mean, we as men have those credentials on us all the time. And we present them, but it's usually unlawful, unless with consent. But women don't have.
Come up, Buttercup. Sorry, I mean Buttercup.
Buttercup, just come up, man. Be a woman. Put on your big girl panties. Come on.
Come on. Now.
Like, we're still engaging with you. You're sitting in the chat typing like a mad woman. Just come up and speak. Give your fingers a break.
Hey. Hey.
So, first of all, Buttercup, I think you should change your name to Snowflake. You're a very sensitive woman.
What up, Buttercup?
It's really not. I'm just speaking my truth. But anyways, I have an opinion. I'm allowed to have a diverse opinion, am I not?
So,
You've been to Sephardic synagogues. There are diverse opinions.
for sure.
I'm allowed to have one.
Do you think this room is tolerant of, is sensitive about my opinion? By any chance?
We don't understand your opinion. We're trying to understand
You've
your
been calling me
opinion.
names for hours.
We love you.
That's pretty
Let her speak for a little bit. Go ahead, let her.
Well, someone wanted to ask me, test me on my knowledge of Sephardic Judaism. It's the car.
Buttercup, you said you're older than me. How old are you?
Hold on, sorry, Tobias. Let's.
Okay, yeah.
I only have one question. You should know. So how do Sephardic Jews pray with the Shema Israel and the man? How?
You put your hand on your face instead of the cross, the way Ashkenazi do it. Right?
What?
You put your hands on your eyes, on your face, instead of Ashkenazi people do it sideways. No?
Yes. And what do you do with your left hand?
Do you hold your tzitzits? I don't know. What do you do?
So Ashkenazi Jews, they left their left hand normally. So Sephardic Jews, they put their left hand on their heart.
Okay. Thanks for telling me that. That's good to know.
One second. Describe me how do you put the hands?
I just told you, you put your hands on your eyes.
But she's a woman. Women.
Yes, because there's a difference. So how do you pray?
I said, what's the purpose of asking Buttercup this?
I'm coming up. Because she said that.
I never said it. I'm not Sephardic. I'm Ashkenazi. I've been to Sephardic shul. Is it a crime to go to Sephardic shul if you're Ashkenazic?
No, I understood.
It's a crime to say Ashkenazic, actually.
That's the anglicized version of Ashkenazi.
It's Ashkenazi, but okay. I've never heard of Ashkenazic until this moment. I literally was kidding.
I'm a writer. Forgive me. I speak proper English.
Okay. Anyways, who else had a question for Ms. Buttercup?
Yo.
Like, I don't have a question, but Buttercup, in order to go deep and we cannot do this tribalism, and I think that many pro-Palestinians, the only thing that they know about the Palestinians is in connection with Israel. Nothing, like literally nothing about them that is not connected to Israel, and always framed as Israel bad and Palestinian good. Can you like name some things that we did in the war that you think that are like amazing in your eyes or like great?
I mean, obviously taking out.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, taking out Hezbollah, that was pretty impressive, and
No, in the war in Gaza. In the war in
Gaza.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people, even in the army, admit it's been a disaster. It's that they've tried.
Remember my question?
You said name a good thing that happened in Gaza.
Like you are like on autopilot of criticizing Israel. Even when I
No,
asked
I just told you something good about them.
You just said it was a disaster. That's not a good thing.
I praised the operation.
Oh, she almost said occupation. She almost said it.
Again, the question was about the war in Gaza, and then the good thing that you said that it was a disaster. You understand
No,
what's
I did
happening?
respond. Daniel, be honest. I responded to you. I said I didn't know you were only talking about limiting it locally to Gaza. Now that I know that, I'll try to think of something better.
No. You said Hezbollah was a good thing, and then I said no. About Gaza.
Okay, so give me a second to think about it.
Okay.
Give me a second to think about it. Something good that happened in Gaza.
You really need to think about it?
Not that happened, that we do good in Gaza.
Well, one of them is killing Sinwar. I can give you that. That's a good. See how simple that was? That was so easy.
I think it was kind of an accident.
It's not about if it was an accident or not.
So now.
I'm thinking about it. Give me a second to think of it. It's like a horror show. It's hard to think about it.
Oh, this is a horror show.
Buttercup, you know. It's hard to think of beauty in a horror show. Like harder. I'm trying. Give me a second.
We're not asking you to think of beauty. We're asking you to think of accomplishments made.
You don't need to bring, because I think that the fact that it takes so long maybe shows you the information that you're getting.
They have destroyed some infrastructure, okay? They've destroyed some infrastructure from Hamas. That's a good thing.
Which infrastructure of Hamas?
They've destroyed a lot of tunnels. They destroyed a lot of rocket launchers. They killed a bunch of militants.
What about all the things that are above the tunnel? When they destroy a tunnel, what happens to the buildings above the tunnel?
I passed your test. Why are you giving me a hard time about this?
No, I'm asking, like, what...
Sometimes they collapse, yeah.
Like, you know that there are 400 kilometers of tunnels in Gaza, right?
Yes.
So destroying the tunnels, which you say is a good thing, would you continue thinking like this when you're...
I mean, Daniel, as you know, most military leaders say that they've accomplished everything they can militarily over a year ago.
Well, that's an opinion, of course.
The vast majority consensus.
There was a vast majority consensus that Hamas is deterred and that we should only give them like more visas. And there was like an overall conception. Everybody agreed with it. And it blew up in our face.
No, that was Netanyahu's specific. Actually, Bennett did oppose this plan to just hand over cash to God. Remember, Bennett stopped the suitcases full of cash to Hamas. Netanyahu.
Listen.
You know what happened. You know what happened with why they support Hamas.
We're having two different conversations, and what's happening with you is what's happening with a lot of properties.
You're talking about the Hamas as an asset. I'm talking about behind the scenes baseball.
I never said Hamas.
Netanyahu said that.
I actually never spoke about Netanyahu. The thing is that what you hear, with my words, you get like a keyword that is kind of like scanned in your head into I'm sorry, like, don't get offended, like a talking point, that this is what you know. So you will divert, you will just take one word that I said, which aligns with something that you know, probably bad about Israel, and then you will attack back. You will not really having a conversation.
Okay, let me respond to what you said. I know what you're talking about.
It's like having a battle with you, and you're always going somewhere else.
You're getting
about
personal.
blaming Israel.
Stop getting personal. Let me respond to what you said.
It's not personal.
Let me respond to what you said. Okay, you're right. You're right. Thank you for steering me back.
Energy vibes world, primate.
Guys, Joe.
We don't get Stop it. So, listen, let me respond to it. You're right. Thank you for redirecting me. You're talking about the work permits in particular, right? How we handed out all those work permits and tried to normalize things.
I wasn't talking about it in particular. I was talking about the fact that we thought that Hamas was deterred in general. We thought that just improving the conditions of Palestinians in general would mean that there would be like, for example, with the extra, yes, and if you look at the work permits over the years, over the months, they're always gradually going up, okay?
Yeah.
There was like this idea of like,
normally,
we give them, they would like, yes, whatever. And that blew up in our face.
Yeah.
Because those people that were working, yada, yada, yada. So the fact that a lot of people agree with something, it doesn't mean that they are correct, and you have a tendency to use, you're not challenging yourself. You have your points that, even if they're like the extreme ones, or the ones that are just aligned with what you already believe. And then, instead of challenging them, you're gonna always steer the conversation into something that they say. And I don't want to.
Talk to me.
One second.
So tell me what I am.
And last thing is, I don't, like in my conversations, I don't say, this and this said it. Professor Zibi Zobi also agree with it. The chief, I don't care. Like at the end, I make my own decisions. I chew my own food, and I see that a lot of people can be talked. So in order for me to stay in reality, I would never tell you but also this and this said it. Okay, so he said it.
Daniel, to be fair, you're not called a cop over having a divergent opinion, okay? So I have to use Israelis to bolster my legitimacy because these people don't allow me to have an opinion.
No, well, it depends what the opinion is.
Okay, you want me to say something first?
I don't think she won.
It's not like that. Me and her every day. Yeah.
No.
Oh, did you hear it? I heard it. For 3 to 4 years, me and Harry and other people used to fight with Daniel every day, because of his stance with me. Now I listen to Daniel, I learn from him. But no, your stance was a lot different, Daniel. But I'm just saying, you're talking like, I think the straw that broke the camel's back was October 7th for you, and you're like, hell no. Some of the things that you used to think were possible before, are extremely not possible now. Am I wrong for saying that?
Many of us this is what the people don't understand.
That's my point. That you actually learned and you've seen it through exactly, but she hasn't changed her reality. It got worse.
Most of Israel was supporting of a two-state solution, but now if you do a survey, I don't. We live in reality, like these two states, it's everybody that says it really don't understand the fact of the ground. Like they can acknowledge, they can recognize it will not happen. Like it's just not realistic, it's not my opinion, I don't want it to happen. Even if I really all my heart would want, reality is that it will not happen. I don't see any way that it will happen. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, it doesn't matter what I want. And the one-state solution, that is basically only when we basically lose a war and they basically conquer us and kill us. That would be the only way that the one state will happen.
I agree that one state is a disaster. It's an end of Jewish state and Jewish of democratic state.
Yigal, even before, didn't you want it to? Well, you still want it to?
I definitely in long term.
Of course he does, bro.
I will explain.
Fuck, I thought that was good.
I think the one state is a disaster because it will be national state. It will be the end of Jewish national state. But let's not forget that not only people like from far left, like maybe Buttercup, and many Palestinians want one state, but we ignore the fact that Israeli far right want one state. Actually, they want one state. They want one Jewish state without taking into account the 6 million Arabs within this state. So this state, in long run, also will be the same outcome like the one state which the Arabs and far left wants. So I think that there are only, I don't see any other option, only one state or two states. So I think the two states is a better option. Because of course, the Palestinian states must be demilitarized, it must be controlled, it must be, it should be very tough security arrangements. But I don't see any other. But I don't see the alternative is better. It's much worse. That's all. That's why.
What's the alternative?
The alternative is to pass it on two states. I don't see any other alternative in long run.
There is another.
Because the status quo will not continue forever.
No, but there are other options. Not just this. The status quo. First of all, the status quo has ended. Transfer is a
transfer will make is like a state like North Iran.
There is something. We are already named for genocide, ethnic cleansing, starvation. Like, it doesn't really matter what we do. I'm not talking about how do you call it? I didn't say about how do you call it transfer, but allowing them to live is something else, and I would assume that many would want to live.
Just today, Egypt declared today that if we push the Gazans from Gaza, it will be a red line for them. Means the end of peace with Egypt, may be a war with Egypt. It won't pass. You ready to make this for the dream of
You don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, the reason that they wanted to stay is to keep them. First of all, they don't want them. Okay, and they think that once they start to open like this flood of like Palestinians going out, they will obviously be a target for pressure, and they don't want them. Actually, no one wants them. But to allow them to live, or to even help them to live and to have a better life, is not a bad thing. They are like in a war-torn area. Yes, if they want, not forcing them.
It won't work for us.
I think it will.
But why is the part that we're doing it? Because I think that if I would tell you a story about like a place that has like was completely destroyed by wars that they started, and then the state that was attacked is willing to help them to start a new life, with even to pay them if they want to start a new life somewhere else, so they can not have like wars or not live in a rubble or in a construction site for another 30 or 20 years. That's like a bad thing. Like, that's like, why is it always framed as a bad thing? Okay, but what we see like the cleansing regardless. They already call it the cleansing, but they are still there. Okay, but what there's like, yes, there's like the narrative of what the world will say. But Igal, you've been with us since you were born, and especially in the last 2 years, and you see.
We cannot be isolated from the world.
We need to be alive, okay? We need to be alive. We need to be alive. That's more important.
If you will be in position like isolated.
You are right. We are right. This is why we will not commit any crimes. This is what I'm trying to argue here.
It's a crime.
How is it a crime? Will it be seen as a crime? Hold on. Is it a crime or will it be seen as a crime? Because that is exactly the point that I'm talking about. Is it a crime or will it be seen as a crime?
It's almost the same.
By the way,
it's
not the same, by the way. It's not the same.
Of course it's not the same.
It's almost the same. That's what he said.
I don't know what to say.
Israel is a democracy and has all these things, and it also already allows Arabs to free, like voting in certain parliament. The real problem is let me finish. I have to finish on to okay? The real problem isn't dictatorship, it's security. You can't, I don't think you can blame the Israelis for not wanting to hand over the land after what happened on October 7. Because every time they give ground, they get terror, they get terror in return. So wanting one state is about survival, it's not about trying to copy North Korea.
And Eagles should know that living in Israel.
So you
really should.
The idea of one state.
I mean, Eagles, you don't think that they have rights there now? Aren't there doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, construction people? So, I mean, what is the problem with having Israel as a
It's not about. So, well, the opposite question.
It's hugely different, but it's completely different in Israel itself.
Well, that's because they want West Bank, they want Judea Samaria for themselves.
I don't want West Bank to be Israel. I don't want another 3 or 5 million Arabs as Israeli citizens.
I don't either. I don't either.
As a Jewish state. So
but to give them another country is the solution?
Yeah, you asked me
what? But the currency.
You asked me if
I understand. It hasn't been stable since before October 7th, so it's not like this is anything new. This has been around for a long time. You know this. You're older than me too, I'm sure. You know this. I have family. I've lived in Israel. I know what the situation is there. Okay, even in the early 2000s, no one could go on a bus in the early 2000s. They were so fucking scared that a bus bombing was going to happen, or go to the malls, because there were suicide bombers going to the different malls every day. Do you want this to happen?
Mikhail said that they lit up Israel like popcorn, bro. The buses, they were blowing them up.
They were.
So many.
He's actually right on that. He was actually right on.
One time it will happen 200 meters from my cell.
I mean, not only did I not ride the bus, whenever I stopped next to a bus, like in a red light, I was like waiting for the green light because I didn't want to stand next to a bus.
Yeah, but do you listen to what he goes saying? He's like, if you make it one state, that he goes, he's got kind of a point, but I think it's probably the tradition of the English. He's like, then they all have to live with me.
That's why I think like they shouldn't get their state. They shouldn't be in Israel either, and that's it.
Yeah, they should find a new.
Yeah, no, and that's why
it's fantasy. It's fantasy. They won't leave.
You're right. It is fantasy. They're not going to leave. You're right. I totally agree with you on that. So you know what? Let them stay in their territory, and that's it. It doesn't need to be a country. But at the end of the day, we're not going to give up more land in Judea Samaria. That's very crucial and critical to Israel. There's parts in Judea Samaria where it's overlooking very, very strategic points in Israel, and this will never be given up to them for their own country. This is something that people would need to get through their head. This will never be. And Judea Samaria is really the land for the Jewish people. That's part of Israel, and it always has been. And this was just a solution. This is a temporary solution to have them live there, unfortunately. And then you know what? It's going to be a permanent solution at the end of the day. That's why I see it. Unless they do something about it where they kick them out and put them to another country, which, like you said, it's not going to happen. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So, but Gaza is a problem.
The entire world want two-state solution. Even the best friends of Israel, like UK, Germany, they support two-state solution. The only reason it's not happening now is because Trump is stopping.
No.
In the moment when America, there will be another administration which support two-state solution.
No, we didn't talk about this until Trump posted it. That was the only time we started to talk about it.
Honest for something else. So whether it's one state or two states, anything.
One state is disaster.
Let me finish my sentence. The only thing that matters is security. If the Palestinians ever accept Israel's right to exist and drops their terrorism, then maybe two states can be back on the table. Until then, Israel has every right to control the territory however it needs to.
Yeah.
By the way, most important,
but that will never happen.
By the way, prior to Senator Kitover, we had the four-state solution, right? We have Israel, Gaza, Judea, Samaria, and Jordan, and it didn't work. So only Egypt would demand a two-state solution, yes. And by the way, I mean, did you ever think about, Igal, that there are Gazans that they would love to leave Gaza, right? Did you ever think about that?
I won't stop there. If someone want to leave,
Of course. believe in a one-state solution because the one-state solution we believe in may not have the same picture what you have, but I prefer a one-state solution without the majority of the Gazans because you have to ask them if they want to emerge into that one-state solution. I'm very, very sure that a lot of Gazans would leave Gaza immediately if they could, right?
There are over 6 million Arabs on the land between the river and the sea. I don't think maybe some live, but most of them won't live. And we must take that into consideration when we are planning the future of Israel. If you want Israel to remain Jewish and democratic, I think both are important.
But 2 million Arabs are living right now in Israel. Some of them have Israeli citizenship and some of them not.
All of the Arabs in Israel have citizenship. All of them.
Okay. I'm not sure of all of them.
Yeah, the Arabs in Israel are citizens.
But the point is that they are living in Israel. So the one-state solution, we see that only in Israel, the Arabs can live in freedom and liberty, and they are treated equal, right? We don't see it in other markets.
Oh my God, is he on my side? The guy who's questioning my Jewish credentials agrees with me that Arabs and Jews can live together?
They do live together.
Israel is the best thing.
Yes, they already happened. That's what it said.
Why are you calling me a capo and not him?
No, because you're missing the point. Israel is. You're saying that you want to have a free democratic Israel. We are saying.
I'm saying we're halfway there, like Carlos says.
No, we are not. No, he's not saying that we're halfway there. Israel, Arabs are already equal rights citizens in Israel. We're not halfway there. We are there. The citizens of Israel are all equal. The Palestinians
We're halfway to
nationality that.
The one state.
No, we're not halfway. What utopia?
The one I presented. The one I presented, this ideal where everyone lives together in harmony. We're halfway there.
It's not ideal. It's not. We're not halfway there. And we're not close there because you have the Palestinians are not even 1% there. We're not halfway there. We were there always, Israel. Okay, from inception, we were there. The Palestinians were never there, so we are halfway there because we were 100%, and there was 0%. Now we are even further from halfway there because we are not 100% anymore. From the beginning, it's going down and down and down and down, and the Palestinians are still 100%, 0%. So what are you talking about? Who are we supposed to do a two-state? Just because you're so focused on Israel, you completely ignore the Palestinian side. Completely.
I do. I know all the sides. Stuff is amazing.
Just if you know all the sides, how can you talk about a two-state solution? One state is an utopia.
Can I respond to Gal, because that was actually an interesting conversation. He was mentioning what most countries around the world want. State solution, but wanting it and making it real are not the same things. So Israel has been open to the idea more than once, but every time the Palestinian leadership has every time it's been offered, then they've turned it down. And it's nothing to do with Trump or any other president. It's because they don't want to live alongside Israel. They want to replace it. So that's the core problem. And October 7 made it impossible to deny that anymore. So instead of showing that they're ready for peace, they showed that they'd use any territory they get as a base for attacking. Gaza was the test. Israel left it. And instead of building schools and hospitals, what do? They build tunnels and rockets. And that's why a two-state solution just wouldn't work. Today wouldn't work. It's not about Trump blocking it or whatever it was that you said. It's about Palestinian leaders refusing.
Maybe most of them. question is, what is our interest of Jewish?
They don't want one state. It's bullshit. They want
That's
Palestine.
what they say. That's what they say.
They want
monolith. Both of them all want the same thing.
Again, no, Buttercup, it's not both sides. No, it's not right. It's not right because it's not both sides. Jews are not a monolith because we debate amongst ourselves.
They don't debate.
Palestine. So tell me, Buttercup, were there demonstrations of the Palestinians in the West that have freedom of speech calling to free the hostages?
Daniel, can I just say,
I like that, but it's Israel.
Yeah, the Israel interest is pretty straightforward. What they've claimed that they want security. They want to live without rocket. It doesn't matter if but yeah, perhaps Palestinians aren't a monolith or what have you, but on one state. But the problem is their leadership. They're the ones that are firing weapons and
the government of the West Bank.
So until the Palestinian side proves that it can actually live peacefully, which they haven't yet done, and they haven't done for decades, it doesn't matter what model is put on paper, whether it's one state, two states.
Abbas has called for them to lay down their arms.
None of it will what?
Has called for Hamas to lay down its arms and return the hostages. I don't know how much more diversity of opinion you need, but I can tell you anecdotally from my friends who are Palestinian and tell me what's going on Arabic Twitter that people were horrified by the hostages, and when those children, the mother and the two and the boys came home in body bags, they were horrified. And like the message you shared with me, they were just as traumatized as you guys, and were mourning and expressing condolences.
Where were the demonstrations of the
You're asking to traumatize people to demonstrate right now? Like, where are they supposed to demonstrate? You mean in the West?
Yes.
So in the West, from what the anecdotal friends that I have that are Palestinian from the West Bank and Gaza, they don't participate in Western demonstrations against Hamas because of some of the slogans they find objectionable, like globalize the Intifada. They didn't like the Intifada; it was bad for them. They don't support Hamas. They think it's a blight on society. So those are the Palestinians that I know, and that's just anecdotal. So I can't really say why they are or not organized, but I do feel like my friend Kipa, who's one of my closest friends, she also feels a little bit politically homeless, like I do, right? And both of us fight within our families, one state, two state, yes, no, whose fault is it? Is it more Hamas? Is it more Israel? This happens in her family too. This is it's across the board. They're just as human as we are, and they have just as many diversity opinions as we do.
But did you say the Palestinians were horrified by the dead hostages? Is that what you said?
Well, she shared what people were saying on Arabic Twitter, and that was people were expressing condolences and saying this is unacceptable, and they were horrified.
Yeah, they should have done the same when Hamas took them, right?
They did. They did.
No, they didn't. The whole world saw the kidnappings.
Well, some of them first did it for the full extent.
The parading of terrified women and children, the celebrations in Gaza when they were dragged through the streets. You can't suddenly act horrified when hostages die in crossfire if you weren't horrified when they were kidnapped in the first place.
So a lot of people who were interviewed after that about why they celebrated in the streets, and I can share a link about this, Gazans who were interviewed, they said they didn't know the full extent of the horror, and when they found out, they were like trembling, like they realized that this was going to be a fucking disaster for Gaza. I can share interviews of Gazans who said that. Like, at first, they did not know the extent of it. They thought it just broke through the gate, and there was a euphoria, okay?
But what are you trying to justify? I can also show
I'm not justifying. I'm trying to highlight...
I can also show you tweets from Muslim people that were saying Hamas did a great job.
Precisely. There's diversity of opinion. Precisely. Like us, we have diversity of opinion. We have genociders among us, we have peacemakers among us.
They knew exactly why they were celebrating. They weren't handing out sweets in Gaza because they thought it was
Who's they? All of them? 100% of them?
Well, they did. They were cheering bastards that were
You just let them in the streets of Gaza, right, to set an example?
And by the way, let me debunk Abbas' argument. So, Baraka, did you know that the Al-Aqsa Brigade participated on the 7th of October? Do you know what the Al-Aqsa Brigade is? The Al-Aqsa Brigade is the military arm of the Fatah under the umbrella of the PLO, run by Abbas. Did you know that?
I'm going to share a link of top.
No, I'm asking you if you.
No, I don't. No, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that. I'll look it up. I'll see if that's correct.
Okay. So, no. Check it out. The Al-Aqsa Brigade participated on the 7th of October.
Okay.
Which is the military arm of Fatah.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Did you know Fatah and PLO were the same thing yesterday?
Yes, I did, you
she
moron.
doesn't know shit. No, you didn't. No.
Okay. Ask Daniel if I know
You're
the
the only
difference between
moron
PLO
in
and
here,
Fatah.
Buttercup. Sorry to tell you, you're the only moron.
Harry doesn't believe in history.
Who are you?
What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
Okay, so just for clarification, Buttercup. So the Al-Aqsa Brigade is the military arm of the Judea Samaria, what you call the West Bank, right?
Yes.
Okay, just for clarity.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Buttercup. I'm Palestinian and from West Bank. And when October 7 happened, it wasn't one of it. Not after.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for coming, Sammy. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Now.
Let him finish talking. Let him finish.
I know, but I want you to understand who this man is.
I understand. I know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I've never seen really a single person, not a single person, condemn what happened on October 7. And you're right, in the fact that people were kind of concerned or worried about the scale of the Israeli response to it. Yes, this is when they realized that, we fucked up. That was after they celebrated the atrocities that happened. I personally have not seen. Maybe there is. Maybe.
Where are you from? Where do you live, Sammy? Can you tell me? Or do you want to give that information? Like Ramallah area?
No, not from Ramallah. No. I'm not those.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably the Palestinians that really are those who maybe live in the West, and to be honest, they just do the Al Jazeera thing, which is speaking in Arabic in one tongue, and then speaking in English in a different, tongue. And they would give you what you want to hear, which is, we condemn this, we condemn that. But then once they are speaking Arabic, they would, either, I'm not necessarily going to celebrate October 7, but most of them, at least, they say they were happy that it happened because they thought that, this showed Israel, for example, yes, we've humiliated them. Yes, this was just a slight payback, stuff like that. I did not really see any single condemnation that happened instantly. It was celebrated on Al Jazeera, by the way, for days. And personally, when I was trying to talk to people and tell them that just put anything aside, like even forget about the Israeli response to this, which is going to be devastating, just think of the atrocities that happened. You've technically attacked, people who are technically leftists, who mostly are those who side with you, and yet you have showed a very kind of stupid and totally futile and a very irresponsible action, and you have to condemn it. And I was actually, insulted and, cursed and everything, and even from members of my own family who thought that, no, this is not time to condemn it, we're just happy that Israel has been humiliated. So again, I really don't think that there was, I think we are a monolith, to be honest. I think 90% of people, think the same way. And the very few of us who condemn violence and who do not want to be part of a violent kind of ideology or violent, system of actions against Israel are the minority, are the very few minority, to be honest.
Well, would you say most people in Nablus support Hamas and want them to rule? Like, in your circle, do you feel like most people support Hamas?
I think the support for them has skyrocketed after October 7, and the support for Abbas is actually
it's always been.
Like, if elections were to happen now, you've got 70% maybe people voting for Hamas, minimum, compared to,
Okay. So, I don't know, I guess after October 7, it became clearer what some of the horror that went on there. Do you think some people were affected, or no, they're still, rooting for Gaza?
No. Like, for example, I've got a president who lives in Germany, and when I initially he was a bit taken aback by what he saw. He was like, oh yeah, there was some disgusting stuff that happened, but he was still feeling as if it was kind of like it was something that should have happened. Like he did not really feel that much of a sympathy. And after the Israeli response and the damage and stuff, he started saying, like I heard him saying many times that I wish there was an October 7 every day because this is the only language they understand. Like even him who has some moderate views and he lives in Europe, and I suppose many Palestinians and Arabs who live in Europe share the same viewpoint. He completely kind of, switched back to thinking that everything is justified and violence and terror against Israelis is totally justified. And it's funny because he's in Germany and he's not German. Like he lives in Germany. He has many friends who entered illegally to Germany, and yet he still cannot swallow the presence of a small, tiny Jewish state in the huge Middle East. Which is funny. Like this is something I notice a lot among Arab Americans and Arabs in Europe and Muslims and stuff. Like they do not really mind, breaking in illegally by the thousands and millions and setting up mosques everywhere. Yet they cannot really tolerate the presence of this small, tiny Jewish state, which is very fun.
So my friend Hiba, she's from a refugee camp near Ramallah, and she, I think, more than her family she supports this idea way more than I do. She thinks they need to get Hamas. She thinks they've been a blight on society. Her family and everyone and people in her circle are very strict that you don't affiliate with Hamas. They know they could get arrested by the IDF, and just keep your head down and stay safe and work and do your stuff. And I think a lot of Palestinian families are like this, right? They don't. Even if they talk, she said they talk a lot of shit and she hears anti-Semitic things all the time.
Yeah.
She's way more pro-Israel than I am, but she says no one's actually, they say they want to kill a Jew, but they don't actually act on it because they're trying to keep their head down and just live their life,
Are they Arab Israelis?
No, they're Arabs that live in a refugee camp near Ramallah. And there's settlers that harass them, there's soldiers that have harassed them, especially during the Intifada. But still, she supports Israel's attack, fighting Hamas because Hamas has been such a blight on their culture.
This man is from the region, lives there.
So it's my friend Hiba.
No, but not was. He's in the app right now in our room talking. Now, guys like Omar screaming. That the idea. He sounds like a fucking retard. And then this guy's actually from there.
Okay,
From
so
Gaza.
let him respond to me. Let him respond.
No, but he's talking. I want you, Omar, all the fucking lefties actually listen to this guy.
So let him talk.
It's like an exclusive interview.
So let him talk.
Can I just say one thing quick? No, I really want to hear. I really want to hear Sammy, but they say there are. So yeah, maybe there are Palestinian families who just want to keep their heads down, as you say, and survive. I don't think anybody would deny that. But the problem is survival isn't the same as peace. So keeping quiet while Hamas rules doesn't stop all the rockets, the tunnels, and the massacres. If the majority were really against Hamas, they wouldn't have allowed them to keep power for all these years. And Hamas didn't appear out of nowhere either. They were voted in, and they still operate openly because people actually do tolerate them. So yeah, there are some Palestinians absolutely that stay out of it, like your friend and whoever else. But the reality is silence and fear still keeps Hamas in charge, and that ends up dragging everyone into war nonetheless.
So I think that the premise was that there's a diversity of opinion among Palestinians, and so I just know anecdotally my few friends who come for Shabbats and they like Israel because they think they're fighting the enemies of the Palestinian people, which is Hamas, right? So you said you have a different experience. I wonder if Nablus is a little different because of the political context. I was hoping that Sammy could talk to that.
Well, I'm just gonna agree with Tobias and the fact that being silent and, to be honest, just being worried about, for example, Israelis, detecting your kind of hate speech on Facebook and because it happened. For example, in Nablus, there was actually after October 7th, just one day after that, there was a pizza place which basically switched its name from Pizza Wherever to, I think it was October 2nd Pizza or something like that, and then the Israelis came and they demolished the pizza place. So some people, yes, they do not express their opinions because they know that maybe social media, the the idea for the Israelis. They monitor social media, especially in the West Bank. So it's really about concern of being maybe arrested in that sense. But what really should have happened is at least one demonstration. And I'm not going to say that it needs to happen in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, whatever. At least could have happened somewhere in the West.
It happened in Gaza, though. In Gaza, there were multiple
Right. It happened now, right? It's happening now when people have realized that, what happened on October 7th brought them nothing but
But also,
destruction.
we won a live protest before that, which people were arrested for, remember? But there was all... I know there was a Hamza Hawali who got beat up by the Hamas because he's participating in these protests.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to refer at least to the Palestinians in Europe and in the US and Canada, Australia, who are like by hundreds of thousands. At least those do not have to worry about Hamas. They do not have to worry about, Israel as well. Like, they could have at least took the initiative and, just went on one demonstration saying that they condemn what happened, or at least, just do one interview. Like,
let me ask you a question, Sammy. More importantly, have you lost any family members since October 7th?
Have I lost any family? No. Well, distant ones, but not very close.
The people that were like killed because of the actions of Hamas?
I have distant relatives in Gaza. But in the West Bank, I did not lose anyone. But yes, some of those who lost their life in the war.
And do you think this saying that to the IDF is that's a good slogan?
Of course not. I mean, it's just, you could say it, you could apply it.
The guys that are like in the UK or like in Ireland or like Netherlands or in India that are screaming that and have never been there.
But why are you asking him dumb questions? He's on your side.
No, it's dumb because, I understand he's on my side. I'm not, the problem is you're not. It's for guys like Omar.
I don't support that to the idea.
No,
what are you talking about?
No. It's guys like Omar that open up a room every day and put in their chat 3 times a day. That to the idea. Never ever been to Israel his whole life. Doesn't even know an Israeli or a Gazan. If you put them in front of him, he couldn't tell you who's who. But he's jumped on a bandwagon and he's belly flopping off dicks, screaming death to the IDF. That to me is extremely problematic indoctrination, and we're big here. And I think that's a borderline terrorist waiting to happen.
I just want to compliment you on that very poetic turn of phrase, belly flopping off of dicks. That was beautiful. Thank you.
I support you, that I always have. I know, thank you. But Omar, I'm just curious what you have to say. You're on stage, but you jump on that thing. Amazing. Red, okay. Listen, no, but it's even, Al even cosplays and jokes and does these whole things. He's most likely a Jew hater, but he's from that region.
So I think we this is an interesting.
No, he's from that region, so I understand his criticism and his sarcasm and maybe his hatred. I understand it. I don't understand these people that live in America, live in Scotland, Ireland, India, Pakistan, that don't even fucking know where the place is. And they have this crazy, loud, death, satanic opinion. And they've never been, they don't know the culture, they don't know the food, they don't know the people. And they have this, and they believe it in their heart of hearts that this is a death cult, that this is what's going on, that's what's going on, and they believe it to be so true. I would love to take a tour and bring people there for 2 weeks and then hear what they have to say, like mic them up on a reality show.
I would like to hear what Sammy has to say, because what you're arguing, coming from Sammy, is very influential, so I think we should let him speak. I want to hear what he has to say. I'm curious.
No, but I've been listening to you, and you're trying to tell me I'm a novelist, but this one,
I'm asking how I'm learning from him. It's called learning.
I understand, but you're doing the same thing you're doing to him as you did to Daniel, and then he's like,
we'll come tomorrow all the same fucking points back up.
Sammy, I'm learning from Sammy. I'm curious because he's the one who's on the ground and he knows personally.
Yeah, don't say you're learning when tomorrow you're gonna come back and regurgitate everything exactly.
But let's hear.
You're bulldozing over the one Palestinian who loves Israel.
No problem. He's not the one that loves Israel. That's where you're wrong. But go ahead, Sammy, teacher.
Well, no, of course I love Israel.
No, I'm just saying you're not the only one.
one. There's,
Yeah.
you know how many Arab
That's what I'm
Israelis that
saying,
live
it's
inside
diverse.
Israel? Arab Israelis. No. In Israel, Arab Israelis that love Israel love the democracy. That would not, if you could change the position to where I was going to
Completely
you can live in the
full
West.
circle now, baby.
You know, that's a good example. I mean, he's a really proud Israeli Arab stuff. Also, a lot of Druze as well. They love living in Israel and they
We're
love
not
the
talking about
Israeli
the
government.
Jews, obviously.
So why not?
Because they serve in the
They're not
military, they're
Jewish.
more integrated.
They're fiercely
So are Arabs. They live right next to the Druze. All the villages around. So you don't know anything about Israel.
Stop bulldozing the one Palestinian.
We're bulldozing the Palestinian. We're bulldozing you.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Sammy. Sammy, I wanted to know if you know about
Do you know where Baka al-Ghabi is? Buttercup? Do you know where that's at?
Let him answer me. Do you know what the movement is real lives of Palestine?
What to do. Thank you. Now, do you know about Baka al-Ghabi? Have you never heard of it before?
No.
Sammy, I'm sure you've heard of it before. Sammy, have you heard of it before?
I've heard of them.
Who?
Baka al-Ghabi.
Who is it? Tell us, share us.
It's not a he. It's a village in Israel.
All right, well, get your point out. What are you trying to say?
Oh my God.
Buttercup,
Okay.
you don't respect the hairy ballsack.
Who is he?
Exactly.
Who is he, Harry? Who?
It's a village in Israel where the Arabs live.
Okay.
Palestinians, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
And they're all Israeli citizens there.
And they're not a monolith. No, Sammy, I wanted to ask you.
They're not a monolith. What do you mean? They're not a monolith.
So you're saying fundamentally, characteristically, Israeli Palestinians are different than the ones in the West Bank and Gaza, and the ones in the West Bank and Gaza can't
You didn't let me finish my point. So I know somebody there. I have a friend named Mohammed. Been to his house there before, actually, a couple years back.
This is my point.
Very nice guy. I'm getting to the point. Very nice guy. But I follow him on Instagram and I keep in touch with him here and there. But I saw after October 7th, he was posting a lot of things that he was proud of them, what they did, Hamas did. And they're defending Palestinians and they were fighting the occupation. And I was shocked by what I saw from him because, I mean, he has a beautiful home there and they live very nice there. He took us to a great restaurant as well and everything. So I was just shocked by his comment.
Sammy, I wanted to know.
Yeah, but the point that I'm trying to make is that it is a monolith. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So they all think that.
Okay. So all Arab Israelis are monolith.
I agree. I'm sorry, I do agree with Harry. Like, even those who are very well off, they have amazing houses and, they have, let's say, U.S. citizenship and they come every summer just to visit their relatives in the West Bank. They drive these super fancy cars, and yet still, they are basically, they celebrate October 7th.
Okay.
Like, I know that, it is kind of a monolith in the sense that, I mean, when you say a monolith, of course, that doesn't mean 100%, but when it's like over 85% of the people share the same opinion, then it is a monolith.
So, Sammy, I want to ask you, because you mentioned they didn't do a single interview, they haven't spoken out. But you know about this Ahmed al-Khatib, he's from Gaza, he lost 59 family members or something, 39 family members or something. He advocates for a different vision, right? A real line for Palestine. You must know him, he's all over social media.
He advocates for what exactly?
He advocates for a new vision for a Palestinian state that rejects violence and very pro-Israel. He comes on all the Israeli channels and talks about condemns Hamas. He's been he fled Hamas. He got asylum. Ahmed al-Khatib. He's from Gaza. His family, he lost 39 family members in this war. He left as a teenager. Now he's like a political. He works for a think tank in America, and he's all over social media, basically condemning Hamas.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
The first thing was that he lost his family.
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
He doesn't know. He asked. He has a lot of contacts in the military because he's so pro-Israel. The pro-Israel people love the government loves him.
It's not very pro-Israel. Like, I do see him on Facebook.
He criticizes the crimes that they did.
He criticizes, I mean, he criticizes every now and then.
He's not a propagandist. But he does condemn Hamas, and he does go on a lot of pro-Israel shows. They are friendly to him, and so he. Yeah. Go ahead. So my point is, like, he lost 39 family members. He asked his people in the IDF why they killed them. They said, oh, I don't know. Either it was a mistake. We don't really know. They they couldn't give him a straight answer, and he said even though it was, people like his siblings, right, uncles, aunts, babies, blown to bits, and he's like, why did you do this? And they said they couldn't give him a straight answer. They couldn't give him an answer. They don't know. It was during the first days. It was like during the first days when it was just sort of shock and awe. They were bombing everything. That's when they died.
And what's the problem with this? That they don't
They were against Hamas. These were opponents of Hamas that were bombed. He said he knew for a fact there was no tunnels under their house. He knew for a fact. They were very influential. His brother runs like a nonprofit in Gaza, and they're all doctors, right?
How does he know that
from the beginning.
How does he know that no tunnels under Gaza?
Because he says they've been approached before. He knows for a fact there were no tunnels and there was no Hamas next in that house.
No, maybe there's no exit in his house, but there are 400 kilometers of tunnels.
Okay, so maybe right. But the fact is they killed his entire anti-Hamas family. Not all of them, but like 39 of them. Two different houses, one in Rafah and one in northern Gaza.
Because there were no casualties in Rafah, mostly militants, because Rafah was evacuated. And you say 49.
No, but it was in the early days of the war.
Is there a militant in Rafah in the early days of the war?
Yeah, they were bombing the whole strip, and when they were just trying to shock
when the IDF bombed like those buildings, they evacuated them. Why didn't they evacuate? Because the IDF orders. Why did they say?
They didn't evacuate them at the beginning. They were just bombing.
Because Hamas told them.
No, it's not true. We didn't just go and bomb things. It doesn't work like this.
This is what you believe, but I'm telling you that's what happened.
No, this is what
you're going to tell us what happened.
This guy's pro-Israel. I'm going to send you a link, okay?
I don't care if it's pro-Israel, I'm pro-truth, okay? I don't care if you're pro-Israel, because if you're pro-Israel and you lie, I will also call you out.
Okay, I'm not lying. I'm going to share his article. He writes for Jewish media.
If people say something wrong, okay?
It's not wrong. He has connections in IDF. He asked them what happened.
Oh, yeah, they just told him.
Yes, the IDF. Oh, yes, the IDF. What happened? The
IDF likes him because he condemns Hamas and he works with
the IDF likes him. You know, the IDF is like hundreds of thousands of soldiers.
But he has contacts there. He has people in there.
I have people there. Everybody has people in the IDF. I myself am a contact.
Alright, so I don't know the reality. He never got an answer. He doesn't know why they killed him.
My cousin. He's the officer in there.
Of course he doesn't.
We're not going to know why, but I put a link in the statement.
First of all, we don't know why. We don't know if. We don't know how. We don't know if it was done by Israel or by them. I want to tell you that they were like firing hundreds of rockets. About 50% of them failed and followed their legs.
Because of the blast, because people were.
Do you know that Hamas rockets actually failed and actually hit?
Yeah, that's not what happened.
Hundreds of them. How do you know?
How do you know?
By the munitions that were left behind.
How do you know? How do you know? How can you tell the munitions?
Munitions are left behind.
How did you see the munition yourself?
I see interviews with them. Yes, interviews. Pictures were taken.
Okay, show us the interview.
Okay, I can send a lot of links about this guy. I'm not lying to you.
Interview with who? He is a specialist of Israeli munition that was left behind.
No, he's at a loss. He has no idea what happened. He doesn't know why he did this.
In the early days of the war, it was Air Force.
Point is, he's still not angry.
It was Air Force. It was Air Force, okay? It was not ground invasion. Okay?
Yeah.
It's the Air Force.
Yeah.
What was left on the ground there?
I don't fucking know. I'm not an expert. I don't care. I'm not trying to solve this.
No, you don't need to be an expert. You need to use critical thinking. Okay?
My job is not to solve what happened to his family. I'm trying to prove a point, and you're distracted.
Anything. Just
okay, so stop giving me a hard time about this. My point I'm trying to make is he started an organization in America called Realign for Palestine.
Realign
for
Palestine?
That opposes Hamas and opposes any violent resistance, and it's a diplomatic solution to the current situation. And he also laments the fact that there's a lot of extremism in the Palestinian society, and he's trying to create a new vision that is different from this. So just say no one went on TV to condemn Hamas, and no one went on TV to condemn. He's very close with the hostages, by the way. The hostages.
I will tell you what. If all that is true, then he has like 0 followers within the Palestinian.
That's not true. It's extremely popular.
Yeah, but it's not popular. I extremely popular. Become like this Facebook page, and usually the comments are mostly insulting him and cursing him and stuff like that. And is, or saying you're a traitor, your embarrassment, etc., is far worse than any kind of supporting messages. So he has lots of followers, but that doesn't mean that if you have lots of followers that they really agree with what you post. They are mostly there to criticize him and curse him at everything.
But he says the Israelis do that too, right? Whenever he talks about the war crimes, the Israelis curse him out. I've seen him post about how Israelis and Palestinians come after him.
Yes, because you say war crimes, and war crimes is something, again, it's like calling someone a rapist.
I'm paraphrasing. He uses the words that make him appealing to the IDF and the propaganda.
So you're even more extreme than him. Got it.
Yes.
Buttercup makes me really dizzy. She makes me dizzy. That's such a circularity. The circularity. I feel like I'm on a fucking horrible riots, Really, you don't contribute anything. You're just dumb as shit. No one takes you seriously here, Buttercup. Don't talk about me. I supply way more facts than you. I know a lot more about it. So shut it.
That's rude. That hurts my feelings.
Well, I hurt my feelings that you just told me I take up too much space. Why do you think I'm a moderator on there? Why do you think I've got Daniel's respect, BB's respect? They know I know way more about this than you. Everyone finds you annoying. You're misinformed. You're one of Amir's thugs. And you pretend to know about the subject. You know fuck all. You repeat everything you say every time you come into the room. People think you're a joke. You're not intelligent. You have a very annoying voice, so you can shut your fucking mouth.
Perfectly said, Tobias.
That hurts my feelings, Tobias.
I don't give a fuck about your feelings. The world doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. Get over yourself, you little bitch.
Wow.
I have a question, Buttercup. Do you know who Roy Chen is? Roy Chen.
Hold on, she's wiping the tears real quick. Her feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
Sammy was going to say something. Sammy wanted to speak up.
No, I'm asking you. Do you know who Roy Chen is?
I'm not responding to the dumb question.
It's not a dumb question because look, I can also do what about this Roy Chen. In the attack of the
people push me off fucking
15 years old and he lost all his family members. What about that?
Very tragic. Birthday and
So the same happened to the. So let me answer because you brought it up, Ahmed Khalid. So what happened to him and his family is very tragic, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And he says, I'm not going to call for revenge, though. He's walking around with the victims of October 7th saying, don't call for revenge. We want to collaborate.
But he's also speaking till today because you mentioned that he's pro-Israel. He's so pro-Israel.
He's not pro-Israel. He's neutral. He's neutral.
No, he speaks about occupation.
No, not really. He talks about Hamas.
Yes, I know him. I follow him. Okay, I watch his videos, and he's clearly, when it comes to Israel, he tries to avoid the term Israel. He speaks about, if it comes to Israel, he loves to use the term.
I've never heard him use that. Never. He never uses inflammatory words like that. Never. He works closely with the Israeli government. He's literally, he's so careful with his words. I've never heard him use the word occupied.
Show me that he works closely with the Israeli government.
I'll show you him interviewed on pro-Israel TV.
The sources right now in the chat. Closely.
No, he's not allied with them, but they trust him and they talk to him.
You said closely. Show us.
No, he's not a propagandist. He doesn't work with the government. They see him as a favorable voice for them, for their.
Buttercup, are you dating a Muslim or married to a Muslim? Huh?
That's a rude question.
How's that a rude question? What's rude about that? Oh, you just don't want to answer because the truth is going to come out. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I'm.
No, I'm probably married to the Jew.
It's awesome.
It's very awesome, yeah.
I'm married to a Jew as well, dude.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Doubt it, dude.
Shami, I want to note also that there's Israel as well. Like they don't see, just like I think after October 7, there was a little bit of denial about how extreme the attack was of October 7. There's a lot of denial in Israel. They say they think there's no starvation.
Who's they?
No, Israelis.
Israelis.
Zero
How many
starvation.
of them?
Even the left, Amos, the left in Israel.
Amos is all the Israelis.
No, but he's the Israeli left. He thinks there's no starvation.
Listen, Buttercup. You know Amos's nephew? You know Amos's nephew was killed on October 7th. You know that? Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So don't listen to anything Amos says, okay? Like, that's all I need to say.
What? What is that a correlation, though?
What do you mean? What is the correlation? She just mentioned to what Amos was. There's plenty of correlation.
No, I'm saying, like, his nephew died on October 7th, and not listening to Amos about anything. Like, what's the correlation?
Do I really have to explain it? My God. I didn't know you were that dumb, Jack.
I guess, yeah. I got room temperature IQ, Harry. I'm not as smart as you, dude.
I know. Not everybody has the gift that God gave me, so it's okay.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know. Yeah, or you're just high, I don't know.
Maybe fentanyl, probably. But can you explain it? I'm still curious.
Yeah, I can explain it. The fact is that Amos thinks that October 7th isn't a big deal like Buttercup, just that it was over-exaggerated.
No, I said
And
he doesn't think there's starvation in Gaza. I said the opposite.
No, you did not say that. You said that you thought it was over-exaggerated. The Israelis in Israel thought it was over-exagerated. It wasn't as bad as it was.
I didn't say
and
that.
you pointed to Amos as being one of them. And,
What are you
I
talking
mentioned
about?
Amos.
Did anyone say that?
No, she said,
I heard her say that. I heard her say that.
Misunderstanding. She said there's some Israelis who believe there's zero starvation. Almost being like...
No, there was no starvation mentioned in her sentence at all.
Tobias was talking about her brain power, so you probably didn't.
She's her brain capacity is tiny. You know, you really get to know, like, I've got swing back and forth between liar. Shut up. Swing back and forth.
Jewish women for a second. Just
swings back and forth between lies and excuses. She never lands on anything. It's like being stuck on a broken swing. Constant motion, no direction. And after a while, it just makes everyone dizzy. You make people dizzy, Buttercup. You're not intelligent. Actually, you're just empty. You're an empty person. Go back to Amir's room. That's where you belong.
Sicker, you still think I'm not Jewish? I've proved it over and over again. I've been grilled 100 times on the Torah and Shul and Minhagim and my Hebrew. Like, I've spoken Hebrew. Like, you've tested me. How many times do I need to be proved to you that I'm a fucking Jew?
So let me tell you who you really are. So let me tell you who you really are.
Okay, tell me.
What the fuck are you? And because you know Isaiah 19.
I want to hear what Sicario says.
One second. Let me tell you who she really is. So, let's go back to Torah, because you mentioned the Torah. So, when God led the Jewish people from Egypt attached to Egypt. Therefore, you have sympathy for them. You might have a Jewish body, but your soul is not Jewish.
That's really intense. Thank you for that beautiful Devar Torah.
That is what you are.
I didn't know that was even possible. Are you excommunicating, or is that kind of the gist of it?
No, I'm explaining why she is still attached to Egypt, because the majority of the Gazans are Egyptians. So she's still in Egypt. This is what we believe when we talk about the Arab Raf, for example. When we talk about the non-Finkelsteins who are around the world, Chaim Chomsky, George Soros, you are attached, Barakat, to Egypt because you belong to Egypt.
That's intense. Well, hey, Sammy, you're Arab Zionist, right?
Hey, yes, I am.
From which country, if you don't mind?
From Judea and Samaria or the West Bank?
Oh, you lived in the West Bank?
Right, yeah.
Hey, you like Gazelle Small Church?
Well, I thought this picture would, annoy some people, so I put it there. I don't necessarily like them, but...
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him, Jack?
Well, I think... Didn't he get caught on the side of the highway, like the TNT, and got charged with terrorism? That is really strange.
It seems Moscow is very good for the Arabs. He is building the one state.
I guess so, yeah, that's true, too. And that is a thing, too, right? Like, he's inevitably bringing a one-state solution, like all these settlements and expansions. And just kind of the way he's running things in the civil administration. It's going to be good for you, I guess, Sammy.
He supports genocide. He supports killing all the Arabs.
I don't know. Don't promote that at all. But I mean, he's more, I guess, radical, and maybe some of his language on Palestinians is very general and harsh, and some would say genocidal, sure, but I think he's more like of a Jewish supremacist.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But there can't be a reinforcement from Jack.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
What?
Sammy is.
I don't even know her.
I spoken to him.
Who?
Sammy.
Oh, I've never talked to Sammy, that's why I was...
Yeah, so...
It seems like you have, because you asked him where you said, aren't you an Arab Zionist? And you just...
Yeah, that's it in his bio, dude.
I don't click on people's profiles and...
Well, I guess I did.
Where was you, John?
Are you doing my dad's family's from the West Bank, and my mom is from Algeria. I'm an American Palestinian Muslim.
Okay. Do you condemn what happened on October 2nd?
I'm not a fan of October 7th, and it's precisely what happened for the last 2 years being the reason why. I mean, I knew immediately when it happened. Plus, I mean, someone I wouldn't say friends with, but I knew one person who was killed, one person who was kidnapped. One person who was kidnapped who I considered someone to be friendly with, for sure. I definitely wasn't cheering that on.
Right, so do you understand, like, any kind of country, when it's attacked on that scale, do you kind of understand that, they would not tolerate, especially that it's been happening on a smaller scale for the past 15 years, ever since Hamas came to power. So do you understand maybe where Israel would come from? You could say that maybe they reacted very strongly, but do you understand at least the need for Israel to
the need to defend your country and defend your people after being attacked, of course. I think most reasonable people would course, these people, I mean, and mind you, the superpower of the region is going to respond, and it's going to be ugly. Did I think 2 years later, starvation, this, that, and the other, 85% of the buildings destroyed? No, not necessarily. And I think kind of at this point, most of the civilized world is tired of it. No, I think it's gone too far for sure. They got their payback many times over. They proved their point, right?
It's not about payback. It's about removing the threat completely. And if Hamas really cared about at least, if it cared if it had 1% of the priority of the Palestinians in Gaza, they would have at least ended the war, by getting back all the hostages. It's very easy to get back the hostages.
You would have to disarm, give off the hostages, and leave. But I mean, we're talking about Hamas, right? Which is not like you guys would all say, Hamas is a terrorist group holding their own people as human shields and hostages. Do I believe that the 2 million other Palestinians who are not Hamas deserve to necessarily be collectively punished for Hamas's, holding them hostage and holding as human shields? No, absolutely not. But also, Islamic Jihad. Well, yeah, whatever. I mean, let's even say there are 100,000 militants, which it's probably a little less, but let's imagine 100,000. There's 2.2 million people there, and I understand removing the threat this, that, and other, but I don't agree with the conduct and the policy of their war, because I've seen what Israel could do in Iraq, and that's, I don't know how many thousands of miles away, and they knocked them out and removed the threat within a week. I mean, really surgical attacks. I mean, slices of buildings. They knew where every single guy was. And I'm hard pressed to believe 2 years later you haven't accomplished your goals, and
to be fair, they've been planning for Iran for 20 years. I think they just kind of blew their hand with Iran. They've been planning it. They had people on the ground, agents that were in the government, triple agents, whatever, double agents.
But even Hamas buttercup,
they blew their hand and accomplished nothing.
Netanyahu and the Mossad and the Shabak are not naive about Hamas. I'm not saying they knew, on October 7th they're going to come and attack us. I mean, probably not.
No, they did. They warned Bibi Netanyahu. Actually, they warned Bibi.
Maybe they did. Okay. Either they didn't. If they did whether they did or they didn't, all I'm saying is, those guys are on your border, and you know how they feel about you, and they've never really, been shy about how they felt about you. This is the most surveilled. I mean, I talk to people in Gaza every day. There's drones above them all the time.
Do you know about the suitcases full of cash? Jack, you know about the
Yeah, I do. In the UAE and
Qatar, that was Bibi Netanyahu.
Jack, let me just respond to you quickly. So the 100,000 militants versus 2 million civilians, that sounds like a good argument, but it actually ignores how Hamas operates. So those militants, they don't stand on battlefield wearing full uniforms. They hide in the middle of those 2 million in homes. They hide in hospitals, in their mosques and schools. So it means that every strike is really, really complicated, because Hamas literally made civilians into their shield. So the numbers don't tell the full story. One militant can put an entire neighborhood at risk if he's burning, if he's running rockets from a basement. And the point you made about Iraq, the comparison also doesn't hold, because in Iraq, America was fighting a weekend. Did you say Iran? Oh, you said Iran.
Israel's one.
I thought you were comparing America's. Sorry, never mind. Okay, my point is still
about the first one, they're definitely using guerrilla tactics. It's harder to differentiate them from civilians, right? But again, these guys are fighting in a war with you. So they're going to have communications, they're going to be organized, they're going to have weapons, guns, and mind you, these are the militants who are actually fighting gun battles, let alone the commanders or the politicians of Hamas that you're also targeting. Trying to defeat these people, if you're going to tell me, is going to require you've destroyed 85% of the infrastructure and buildings in Gaza, and it's still not done. It leads me to believe that either there's incompetency, which I don't believe, or there is bad strategy, or, I mean, you're doing this on purpose to try to, keep the war going. But either way, I don't see 2 years later that after all these military goals have being accomplished with all the horror and suffering, and let's be honest, all the backlash Israel's getting, you're going to keep this going for how much longer?
Yeah, but even if, so you said Iran, Iran is very different because Iran is a huge country with a government that is above ground. So when Israel hits Iran, it's usually taking out like one singular person, like a general, a scientist, or have you, targets that can quite easily be identified and struck with that sort of surgical precision. Whereas Gaza is the opposite. It's a tiny overcrowded strip where Hamas hides in buildings and blockades. It's a really nonsensical attitude.
But the way I respond to that, take what you just
also on October 7th, those people
I want to respond to text.
They were not even Hamas. The people that attacked the kibbutz scene, they were just Gaza Palestinian civilians that had work visas, that worked and lived alongside these people on the kibbutz.
Can you cite this?
Actually, that was just proven by every single Israeli media outlet reported that the workers had nothing to do with the plotting of
Well,
I'll tell you,
I was reaching out.
I will share every outlet, right, left, and center that reported to debunk it.
Stories of these people.
There's a lot of rumors, yeah.
People that survived October 7th.
Can you just do us a favor?
In the first month, there was a lot of rumors about it, and then every Israeli paper debunked it, okay? So you should read Hebrew and read the paper, and then you find out the truth.
I mean, there was an investigation. The numbers I read were that a minority, most of them were Hamas, and there was a minority of Gazan civilians. I'm not exactly sure about the workers in Gaza, but if Rishi, just, we can end this right now. Bro, just a second. If you could cite a source or something we can look at as evidence, we'll say, you're right, we were wrong. If you can just do that, I'll take a look.
You can watch the October 8th premiere, because in the October 8th premiere, there's survivors of the attack of Palestine on the kibbutz scene. They explain.
You don't have evidence or what?
So you can watch.
It's not evidence, bro. Eyewitness testimony of some people is going to be able to tell me how many thousands of Gazans or workers. We need.
Thank you.
Can we let Dave say something?
Thank you. Let's say.
5 minutes.
I was going to respond.
I posted the link.
What is this person profoundly just everything? She calling you?
Dave, what's the Jack, let Dave respond and then I'll say.
So the typical Muslim, now we have Jack and
how do you know I'm Muslim?
They always say
You said
they always
Algerian Muslim.
You said that yourself, Jack.
Oh, I did. You're right. Sorry. I'm on it. Yeah.
Your bio.
okay. So they usually use this statement. The moment you hear this, you know they belong to the other side. We should hold IDF to a higher standard. So that is a standard statement used by Piers Morgan, used by Buttercup, used by Jack.
Are you saying we should hold the IDF to this? Or should we hold the IDF to the same standard as a terrorist organization? Is that what you're telling me?
But what do you mean by higher standard?
No, I'm asking you. Should we hold the IDF to a higher standard than a terrorist organization?
Well,
or the same.
Higher standard, you are implying higher standard than the majority of military, right?
I'm just asking more or less than a terrorist.
Yes. So that's why when people say higher standard, they typically say IDFs can do it so well in Iran, they must be better than the standard military in all nations. You know?
Oh, no, dude. If this was the U.S. military conducting a war on Gaza, or any superpower conducting a war on a 20-mile strip of land. And 2 years later, this is what we're left with the goals accomplished and not accomplished. I would say this is
Jack, what do you mean? Stop beating around the bush. If this was America, America would have flattened Gaza in 2 days. That's it. They would be gone. They wouldn't be going from house to house and doing all this shit to try to make the world happy, to try to make it seem like they're being humane and moral. If Israel really wanted to, they could do it too. That's the thing, Jack, and you know that. You know that. I actually was waiting for you to say that, but you know what? You went to the complete opposite route. The lies and
No one in the world,
I think Israel,
no one in the world has patience with the Palestinians the way that the Israelis do.
Yes.
No one in the world would have this patience. I live in the Western Europe. Western Europe played a big part in NATO, big part in Yugoslavia. Nobody
Western Europe
here would
all
have
has
the same
come out.
patience. I don't hear anybody in Europe saying that they need to have patience with Putin. But yet they demand,
Western Europe.
everybody demands the Jewish people to have patience with those that chant the annihilation.
These are your allies, dude. These are, or not you, Rishi, but these are the Israel's allies. Like the UK doesn't hate Israel. The Western Europe and Eastern Europe, who's condemning certain policies that the IDF has conducted or that the Israeli government has conducted on Gaza, these aren't your enemies. This is Canada. This is Belgium. This is, friendly countries to Israel. These are long-term allies. And all they're saying, wait, just let me finish.
These are not allies anymore. These countries are calling for sanctions on Israel. Every step that Israel takes to save us, to save the West from ISIS, from jihadists. Yes, the West is next.
I think we have I live in America.
Every action. Mohammed, please stop.
I got interrupted. I was literally
Mohammed,
talking.
stop. Every action that Israel takes, yeah, you are. Every action that Israel takes to save the rest of the world, because Israel's fighting a war on behalf of the entire world, it's the same way Ukraine does, is being sanctioned. Keir Starmer, Macron, everybody is trying to sanction Israel for every step that Israel takes. So they are not true allies. The West, especially Europe and the EU, are not true allies of Israel. Not even Germany anymore.
Just one thing I wanted to also say is like,
what's the Mohammed thing? Are we just? I want to know
Jack.
Okay.
No Muslim is named Jack. All firstborn sons in Islam are called Muhammad.
Okay, my name's not Mohammed. I want to know what the ground rules are for this room. Are we allowed to be anti-Semitic, racist, Islamophobic? Because if we are, I'm totally down for that.
There is no racism here, and there's no Islamophobia here. The only thing that's been here is conspiracy theories against Jews, and that is anti-Semitism. There has been no Islam.
Let me just say one thing.
That's what you think.
Yeah, so I think
a little bit more reasonable.
Okay, I was going to say that I think some Western allies criticise Israel. I want to talk about that point, but that doesn't mean that they're right. Governments often condemn to call their they often condemn things because they want to calm down the general public, especially when protesters are filling streets. It's politics. A lot of this stuff is politics. These same governments still they still trade intelligence with Israel. They still buy Israeli defense. So there's also an element of hypocrisy in that, and they still rely on Israel as the only stable democracy in the region. So allies. Yeah. So allies condemn America in Iraq and Afghanistan too, while still supporting them behind the scenes. So condemnation is easy when you don't have to live under war. And for Israel, the survival comes first. It cannot base its security on what looks good for Western headlines.
Okay, I see your point.
It has to base it on something like October 7th. So I think it's relevant.
So I'll respond, Shlomo. Just what I'm saying is, right, these are your allies, and they're all coming together, except probably the United States, to say one thing. Do you understand what their criticism of, all while condemning Hamas, mind you, but do you understand what their criticism of Israel's conduct on something very specific?
No, tell me, Jack. Tell me.
It was about the humanitarian aid and the food and how it was being delivered and how much was going in. course, there was also, I forgot to mention, saying, calling for the end of the war and Hamas to release all the hostages. Basically, the ceasefire and the war stuff. But what it seemed like was their main criticism was the food supply.
Why would it be Israel's responsibility to give?
Keir Starmer in the UK never mentioned the name of hostages with British citizenship until the opposition leader Nigel Farage exposed to the UK about Emily Damari being a UK citizen. Keir Starmer never mentioned that. The opposition, or he got reminded by the opposition that there were UK people being killed and tortured and raped and taken hostages. Keir Starmer never even mentioned a hostage. He said on stage, instead of hostages, he said sausages on stage.
Eric, what were you saying? I think you got cut.
I'm saying, why is it Israel's responsibility to bring in aid to Gaza? I've never understood. This is like their talking point here. Like, it's Israel's responsibility that we need to feed them and give them water, which we were doing before October 7th anyways. Electricity, water, food. 40,000 that were coming in and out for work every day, bringing in money back to their families from Israel. I just don't understand. Why is it Israel's responsibility? Why is another country giving them food and resources? Why doesn't Egypt open their borders up and bring in aid?
I can give you...
The world doesn't want to deal with that.
No, what it is Israel has space over both the borders and the port, or the ocean coming into Gaza. They kind of have the security concerns about what goes in and out. So even if it was, because there's aid, like trucks waiting on the Rafah crossing, like waiting to go in. But Israel has to be able to see what is exactly coming in, make sure there's no weapons, no bombs, no this, that, and other, which is a valid concern for them, right? And then also, if they don't have any concern about whether there is any, let's say they say, we're just going to close these borders and we're not going to be the ones to do any food drops or any aid delivery, then you're just going to have 2 million people starve to death. And so,
But food and aid has been getting in. That's the thing. Like, it's been, even when Biden was president, food and aid has been getting in. You don't remember when Biden sent all those planes and they were dropping a bunch of aid from the airplanes? Like, people forgot about that.
I remember, but this is what happened. So, like, there was a 3-month period where I believe it was Smotrich's kind of idea, or at least pressuring on Netanyahu, to say, we need to stop the food aid trucks from going in. We're feeding our enemy, Hamas, they're getting all this food. And then that's when the kind of GHF developed. And I've talked to people in Gaza. I've talked to them every day on this app. And they say that's the most dangerous place to go get food. But the key issue was there was almost a full stop on any food aid trucks going.
Well, what happened?
I don't know.
So these are standard talking point. I urge you.
Who moved them down?
Because if you keep saying, I mean, it's doing the standard talking point.
I don't want to keep doing it.
I urge you.
Because have a good one.
I wanted to respond to something. Jack.
Because you know, it's
Some of the guys here, they're not trying to have a conversation.
and it's exploiting the look. You're exploiting the look.
You take care of it, Daniel.
I wanted to respond to something.
It's gonna ruin it. Like, there's 2 guys here, they're just gonna keep taking me down.
Yeah, it's all moving down.
It's a bad look, guys. Don't do that.
But yeah, that was I think the key concern. It wasn't like for the last 2 years there was no food trucks going in. It was a period of time where there was none, and then there was like very little, and that's where like the international community.
Jack, can I just say one thing? I just really mentioned earlier, countries, like you said, the reason why they're condemning Israel is over the aid, right? That's the main reason they're condemning it. That was your response.
I believe it was the food and
yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, they're playing into Hamas's strategy, because these same countries know Hamas steals the food and fuel the moment it enters into Gaza. Yet they always point the fingers at Israel and said, it's easy for leaders in Europe or America
to act outraged when they don't have rockets flying over their homes. But if it were their families massacred on October 7th, they wouldn't be lecturing Israel about hate. They'd be demanding demanding their armies flatten the enemy. And also, let's not pretend that their own hands are clean. The US, France, and sadly the UK, sadly for me, they all cut off supplies, bombed cities, and they blockaded ports during wars as well. Let's not talk about the way they're acting now, by the way. There's a lot of problems now in government. They know full well that security always comes before comfort. So their condemnations they're not principled, it's just pure politics. It's meant to look good for the cameras, but it ignores the real cause. And the real cause is that Hamas is exploiting civilians. So that's how I'd respond to that.
I can respond to that, and it's a good point about security.
I don't agree with you.
It's a good point about security and the concern about Hamas attacking aid trucks or any other gang trying to loot and take it, sell it for higher prices, whatever evil, stupid shit these guys are doing. But the IDF kind of proved today and a little recently was, and maybe it was I don't know, but it seems like they realized we can't just check the trucks, make sure that there's no weapons, explosives, etc., and just let them free flow in. Because for one, it might get to the hands of Hamas. Two, most civilians might not get it. Maybe a gang will get it. And three, we can provide security to these aid trucks and make sure that civilians are getting them. And again, the other option is wait. David, I'm almost done, bro. The other, and I think the last option, which Israel doesn't even want to do, you can tell. I mean, most countries in the world are saying this is a bad idea, is the option of just not being concerned with letting these 2 million people get food, and then what, they just fucking starve away? I don't get it.
Right? So your statement that the IDF should provide security for the truck, right? From the border to the people, this is totally very dangerous, okay? You understand?
Of course. It's like a target on their back.
Let me give you the background, right? So the whole thing is United Nations with Hamas, right? So you bring the food in, and then we sell the food. So everybody is good because United Nations, many of them work for Hamas. So everything is good, no problem. But the moment that the US and Israel want to take over, then Hamas will lose money, and then the people working for UN would not get paid, and that's why the food, after they check, cross the border, and Israel was thinking, okay, now we check, okay, we check, and then we expect the UN to take over and distribute, and UN say, we are not getting paid by Hamas anymore, so they're not going to do it, and that's why the food are holding there, okay? That's why for many months, this make no sense. They thought UN should take over, and then they're begging the Red Cross to do it. Red Cross say, we can't do it. Only UN will not kill by Hamas. If we do it, we will kill by Hamas. So this is the confusion, okay? So you don't have the overview. And also the people who advise all this Prime Minister of UK, Macron, they're all biased. We have this problem. In Western nation, nobody truly objective are helping the super useful idiot like the Prime Minister of UK and Macron and other people. That is a sad part of the story. But for Ukraine war, we have Baltic nation teach the Western nation. This is how to deal with a big bully. But nobody will come into Western Europe, help the Western Europe leader to speak the language of the Middle East to be effective in dealing with the Middle East crisis. This is the sad part of it. That's why the Western Europe leader keep making wrong statement, assumption, and also the legacy media all infiltrated. So it's very sad for the Western Europe.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you talked to say this, unless you want to prove me wrong, but the UN never said Hamas is not paying us anymore. But number two, you're saying if the IDF provides security for aid trucks that puts a target on their back. They're looking to kill Hamas terrorists. Are they not? Like, if this is what's gonna bring them out. No, wait, man, I didn't interrupt you once, Dave. Like, I don't like anything you're saying, trust me. I don't agree with pretty much any of it. But I waited politely, right?
One point at a time.
If you offer me this, you made 2 points. If you offer me the same respect,
Let him respond back, Dave. Let him respond back. Go ahead, Jack. Instead of wasting all the time on that. Jack. Hold on, Dave.
So basically, I'm just gonna, basically my point is, obviously, it's a war zone. Obviously, there will be threats. If they want to provide the security, it also gives them a chance to weed out some of the Hamas guys who are going to be coming with guns, and they can fight them. And mind you, I'm not talking about some low-level security. I'm talking about, a real force to distribute aid.
Let me respond back to Jack after. Go ahead. You finish, Jack?
Yeah,
So Jack, let me ask you a quick question here. Why should it be the IDF's responsibility to go and do that? Why wouldn't Hamas do that? And since the IDF is so big and bad, and they're killing civilians and all this rhetoric we hear. Why wouldn't Hamas take the aid and protect the aid and distribute it to their own people if they are the governing body there, if they are the rulers of the people there? Why don't they do that? Instead of taking it and then storing it in tunnels, or we've seen also warehouses full of aid that nobody touched. So I'm just wondering why is it all the IDF's responsibility?
I'll tell you, like, I'm not the person who's gonna say that. You don't know the answer. Yeah, bro. I'm just gonna say I'm not the person who believes Hamas is a benevolent leadership. I'm not saying that these are jackasses. Like, these are not people who are gonna come and say, oh, let's clearly look at their fucking how they're conducting themselves.
So you're saying the IDF is more moral than Hamas then?
I think they're both different. But,
no. So wait, so equate that. Hold on, David.
Don't play shit.
Hold on, David. I just want to have like a back and forth, bro. I don't like to go in these long dialogues, bro.
I got you.
But
I'll respond to the second point. I think you said, why should Israel do it or something?
Why is it the IDF's responsibility? You said IDF should do it. It'll bring out Hamas. The IDF doesn't need to bring out Hamas. They know where they're at.
Wait. So it should be their responsibility because it'll help accomplish their goals and avoid their worries about all the aid going to Hamas. You can starve them the fuck out if that's what you want. But number two, if you know exactly where they are, then why the fuck are we talking about?
Nobody wants to stop.
They're blending in with the civilians.
Nobody wants to stop. They always use human shield, Jack. A lot of assumption is you just keep talking many points. It's better one point and then we destroy your assumption.
I was talking to Harry, bro. I just responded to his point. If he wants to respond, that's fine.
But you pretty much made my point right there, because at the end of the day, it's not IDF's responsibility, right? It should be Hamas's responsibility. But the whole reason why we're talking about this whole conversation in the first place is because Hamas is taking the aid from the civilians, which is why you're saying the IDF should go in and guide the aid into a safe place and distribute themselves. So the whole point that I was trying to make is it should be Hamas's responsibility to help their people there. They're the ones who dragged their people into a war. Should be their responsibility. They should take care of their people, but they don't care about taking care of their people, Jack. You know this. We all know this.
Do you trust terrorists? Exactly. Do you trust the terrorist group to discover?
Obviously not, but the people of Gaza did.
Bro, the people. They put it in bro, you're just come on, man. The people of Gaza, half of these motherfuckers are kids who never voted in any of this election.
Okay, but
let's be honest about what's going on.
That's your problem, Jack.
Sorry, man.
Just let him finish, bro. Just let him finish, David.
Nah, it's just he knows I'm disappointed because any room I'm in, it's not even Israel Palestine, he'll do this, but
when you talk about children, you do not understand when the IDF, if serve as a security, escorting the food aid
you know what would happen? 12 years old, 13 years old with bazooka stand in front and start shooting. Okay? So this is how dangerous is it if it's not done by the Hamas people, right? That's
But
why
Harry just said that we
they
know where they're
resort
allowed.
to the distribution center with the strategy that people walk, halfway they will be checked with no weapon, and then only they're allowed to go and collect food. I mean, they have thought of all the possible low standard, as you say, I gave higher standard, that Hamas extremely low standard, what they would do, kill their people. If they
I'm
don't
just saying, bro. If you're telling me you're a democracy and you're a military, a professional military in a democracy, I'm sorry, I'll hold you to higher standards than a designated terrorist group.
So
That's how.
What do you think, Jack, about Michaela's statement today that Hamas is Gaza, Gaza is Hamas?
Yeah, also, like, Hamas is a terrorist group, by the way, and also...
The question was directed towards Jack.
I got him to admit it because I disagree with all Palestinians being a Hamas. I think that was the most asinine shit you could say. And I told him that, but only because if you were to ask me pre-October 7th, who's the most popular political group in Palestine, including the West Bank?
Yeah, but Jack,
Stop interrupting him, David.
David, you're a fucking. This is why I put you down in every room, not because I don't like you or anything. You just interrupt and
He's great. He just reminds you not to drink or do drugs. But yeah, David, please don't interrupt again. Go ahead. And then it throws up the whole fucking course when somebody interrupts.
But I remember, so I was saying, like, if you were to ask me pre-October 7th, who's the most popular, or who would win an election, or the most seats in the parliament in Palestine, most likely, I would say Hamas, even in the West Bank. Now, not a shot. I mean, it's not even a possibility anymore.
But my opinion, well, not really a point I wanted to kind of ask. But then, so there's differences of opinions. You have one side, Sammy has another, and Michaela has another. Michaela it's kill or be killed. That's the way he's looking at it. It's either Hamas kills all the Jews or all the Israelis, or Israel kills all Hamas.
Yeah, he thinks, well, his ideology, I guess, is a little deeper than that, but, you know, he sees Zionism as a genocidal threat against Palestinians. And maybe he combats that instead with something similar. I'm not sure if Sammy's beliefs haven't really talked
No, he doesn't, because when I asked,
Palestine.
But when I asked, I said, you said Hamas is Gaza, Gaza is Hamas.
Right.
Well, why would that be a genocide? And then he said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he's saying, but if you ask me, in Palestine, I guess, in the world, for sure there's a million opinions.
Palestine,
And then also in Palestine, proper, right, like the Palestinian territories and people living on the ground.
But you're aware right now of the three ice cream parlors that are still operating in Gaza, right? Never mind the big reasons for instance, right?
Bro, you gotta understand, I talk to people in Gaza every day.
Yeah.
And there are legitimately, I don't know if you want to believe it's like en masse or just a few grip of tens of thousands of people.
But when you ask them, like, whose fault is it?
David, don't go off the chat,
bro. Just take him down, bro, because I'm not gonna sit here and do this.
Please, David. Like, you have to be quiet.
Fucking tired, bro. But yeah, there's people genuinely going hungry there, like very, malnutrition type shit. And people say, oh, there's fat people in Gaza, all this shit. Bro, there's people who have to walk miles every day just to go get the fucking food aid and risk their life to get it.
No, but Kazam Ice Cream Cafe's open right now, as of today.
There's places in Gaza. I'll tell you, there's places in Gaza with even like little makeshift supermarket open.
You just said you talk to them every day, so they don't have food and water, but they have cell phones there?
Access. Not everyone can access all the
I don't understand. They have cell phones there, but they have no food and water.
They have cell phones and they have ice cream.
Can I talk or no? Because
but no, I want to talk about the ice cream parlors.
Yeah, but you didn't let me finish my sentence.
Yeah,
but Jake, you're doing a lot of talk. Bro, if you ask me a fucking question, I'm gonna explain it from what I know best. And what these people are telling me is there are certain concentrations in locations in Gaza where food is not as hard to get. And a lot of people want to go there, but they can't. And those places are extremely packed. So what happens is, mind you, 2 million people. What happens is, they have small concentrations in these places where you can go buy food, get food, groceries, vegetables at crazy high prices. They're getting low.
No, wait, you're saying that there is food there, right?
I'm trying to describe the situation with nuance, bro.
Yeah, but earlier, like in the beginning of this whole conversation, Jack, you said that there wasn't aid getting into Gaza. So I'm just confused. Is there aid getting into Gaza or not?
Bro, I'm trying to describe it to you. I promise I'm trying to give you a good picture because I was trying to get this for a while myself.
Yes or no, Jack?
Dude, I don't know what you guys want. Do you want the truth?
Guys, let him speak. He's saying that there is food it's hard to get to.
There's some places where there's food and there's enough of it. Sometimes the tire prices that's going down recently. A lot of people it's hard to get food. Some people are getting malnutrition and not enough food for themselves every day. That's just the situation. And I'm not the person here coming and saying everyone there is starving to death. There's not a single piece of food and there's never been 8 trucks for 2 years. I'm being real with you.
Jack.
You guys are getting triggered.
Jack, I'm okay. The problem I have with you is that I feel like you can't just throw like condemnations at the IDF without like solid proof, and that's the problem. It's all claims, there's no evidence. And when you what you're really I'm asking you to be more specific because what you're really doing is trying to drag the IDF down to the same level as Hamas. You said that earlier when you were clearly asked which is worse. You didn't give a definitive answer as if they're equally guilty. You don't have anything concrete to back that up. So without proof, it's just an attempt to make Israel look bad as the people who actually carried out massacres. If you want to make that comparison, you need hard evidence. Otherwise, it's just empty. It's just empty all the time. Do you have any hard evidence?
I posted in the chat hard evidence, guys.
If that's your
it's a reasonable request. What's your evidence? No, it's a reasonable. Is it not a reasonable request?
Someone asked me my opinion. Who's worse, Hamas or the IDF? I said
and you have nothing to back that up. Great opinion, dude.
All I said was
we asked him his opinion, but I posted something.
My opinion.
So we were curious to know why you have the opinion that you have. Is it not reasonable to ask somebody why they have the opinion that they have?
I think they're depraved.
I just put concrete evidence.
Precisely. What is it?
I just put concrete evidence, and I want God to believe it. Jack, everybody in the room. I put a link in the chat right now. It's called hold on, Taj Mall on Thorwell Street in Gaza City was operating today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. No, there you go again. There you go again. Trying to poke holes.
Dude.
Listen, my family is the worst I get out.
That's not just one. Okay.
But what is this going against?
Snow New restaurant in Gaza City opened today as well. Nawaz distributes like the small food packages.
It's nothing.
How stupid are you, Buttercup? I'm starting to think
so much denial.
Baby, we literally just explained to you that there are people who are able to get food and that there's
that's coming from you on the app right now. But the majority of people that aren't from the region, don't even know where the fuck it is, are saying, no, shut the fuck up, Buttercup. That aren't.
like homeless people? I don't know.
Hold on. There's no point of attacking. There's no point of attacking him. All I did is listen, guys.
Yeah, but he knows he's wrong. With all due respect.
No, I know, David. Shut the fuck up. You're starting honestly. Put the links are in the chat. There's 3 links in the chat right now. Everybody look at it.
And you're acting like this goes against the point now. I'm not.
It doesn't go against your point. You're one person. The problem is 95% of the people that believe the same issues that you think are going on are saying the complete opposite.
Yeah, but
You're
there's a
talking
lot
to
of
Jack,
idiots.
not them. Talk to Jack.
Buttercup, are you his fucking lawyer?
You're literally talking.
Like, you're sick in your head, eh, dummy?
I'm sure there's 90% of idiots on your side who don't believe that anyone's starving in Gaza or that there's food shortages, or they don't give a fuck. So there's idiots everywhere.
Stop
I'm talking to
investing
you.
in a kefir. Buy food for homeless people. It will help a lot. Thank you.
Amazing. I'm going to sleep, or I'm going to go just chill somewhere because it's just too much.
Look at the last link I put in, please, guys. It's the trucks.
Well, click on any of BB's links.
No. It says Twitter. It's not like
Yeah,
mine
you
either.
put up the IP one time. Yeah,
Yeah, but that was a joke.
It was a joke. But no, these you can see are from Twitter and stuff.
Use Snapchat.
You see? Oh, Snapchat geolocation. I've been telling people about that for years on here already. But
No anti-Gaza City.
yeah, I posted on my Twitter like months ago. Jakob, I posted something about them eating and being in a coffee place on Twitter with the timestamp, with the stamp of the location, because that's how it is on Snapchat. You can't fake that shit when you post it on. I screen recorded it, put it on Twitter, and I had people saying that it was fake. People writing, they're like Buttercup on there. Yeah, she left. Her and see, when the trip comes out, they all leave. They all scatter like cockroaches. It's funny.
The fruit and vegetable market was mentioned everywhere.
Yeah, like I just
No,
want
but I'd like to see. I'd like to honestly get Scotty to click one of those links, or he can search it himself. But all these restaurants that are open in Gaza, the ice cream shops, the shawarma shops and stands, the fruits and vegetable stands that are going on, so he can see the truth about the lies he's being fed. That there's no food, that there's people are starving, that these pictures of these babies that are being out there. One was in Italy, one was in Sudan. Like they're not. It's not in Gaza.
Scotty's just a Ned. He doesn't understand anything. He's very manipulated, and he's a Ned. That's it. He knows what a Ned is, and that's what he is. And it's sad to see that.
That's right, Harry Potter. So like
He's
everyone.
a white leftist from Scotland, and we all know what the white people in Ireland and Scotland are doing. They are the whole day obsessed with Jews. They've never met a Jew in their life because they kicked all the Jews out. They don't want Jewish people in Ireland and Scotland. They're obsessed with Palestinians, yet they are the first people in the world to complain about Muslim migration.
Right,
Especially
like, we see, like, my friends from, in England, like, they yell all the time about, like, there's so many, people, I won't say, well, yes, there's
Oh my God, David, just stop, bro. Just stop.
Honestly, David, you need a 12-step program, bro.
Irish and Scottish people always say, oh, we never have colonies, we never bombed other countries, why do we need to take responsibility, why do we need to take refugees, look what they are doing to our women, this and that. But
yeah, Reese, that's what they say, my friend.
Who modded Reese, guys? No, don't mod that guy.
Not me.
Fuck, hell no. He can come back up, but don't mod that guy.
I didn't hear what he said. What was this?
That's a crazy fuck. I don't like the guy at all, but I'm letting him talk.
Be nice, be nice.
I have to
the
say,
point that I
guys.
wanted to make was that Scottish people and Irish people are obsessed with Palestinians, yet they don't want Palestinians in their country. I don't
Rishi?
understand.
Rishi, I have to say, I'm Scottish and I live in Ireland, and unfortunately, you are correct. It's one of the puzzling things about this whole situation. In fact, you can spread it to the entire Western world.
What is the situation?
David, please just. Sorry? Go ahead, Ian.
I asked him, like, what is the situation?
situation, well, it's apparent to everyone that unfortunately the Western world has turned against Israel, which should worry us all, right? When you think about the events that occurred on October the 7th, and to hear John making an equivocation between the IDF and Hamas.
Well, Jack is not a very nice person, so.
This is just how Jack speaks, Ian. He's been speaking like this for years on the app. He's the blatant Jew hater and Israel hater. He's said it many times on his social media. A few weeks ago, he wrote, "Jews lie all the time. Holocaust didn't happen. Genocidal Zeos." So, yes, he's just a big Jew hater. And when he comes in here and we debate him, we shut him down with facts. And I don't know here when what I said to him, but I literally he stumbled. He couldn't give me an example of what I was, couldn't give me an answer to what I was telling him, to the scenario, how he's saying the IDF should take the aid and protect the aid to make it get distributed safely. Well, why is that the IDF's responsibility? Shouldn't that be Hamas's responsibility? Why would Israel have to do that? And there wasn't a straight answer, right? And I showed him, how he was contradicting himself, and they just go around and they just mumble and they don't talk, they don't make any points. Same thing with Buttercup. She does the same type of thing. So this is what we've been dealing with. These people are blatant just Jew haters. Nothing to do with Israel. They just hate Jews, and that's it. People need to know that.
Buttercup is so passive aggressive now, so I don't know how you guys keep letting her up on stage.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's something that's a little ugly, unfortunately, that's attached to Zionism and the Israel cause in the eyes of a certain group of people.
What does that mean?
So what I mean is that there's a certain group of people that will always hold Israel to a standard that would never hold any other Western democracy to. Okay, the expectations that are put upon Israel are standards.
What is the expectation now?
Well, there's many factors. If you just look at the one point, the amount of civilian casualties to militant casualties, and we all just have to kind of go by the numbers that we hear from the Gaza administration, and we all know the problems with that. But even if we go with those numbers,
there is no Gaza administration. There is Hamas.
That's what I was alluding to, David.
Yeah, but there is no Gaza.
Yeah, David, that's what he was alluding to, but I think you're just too drunk to catch that. I think everybody else in the room caught that except David. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's undeniable, the point that I'm making, right, is that Israel has just held a standard that no other Western democracy would be. And what interests me is, how could it possibly be the case on October the 8th, on the day after one of the worst massacres that any sane person could ever imagine occurs, and before there's a single retaliation by the state of Israel, you have hordes of green-haired liberals in the West, in colleges across the West, in rapturous support of what they term as Palestinians. Why has that happened? What's gone wrong in Western culture? That's the first point. Because you can't make the argument retrospectively that Israel has been too hard on Gaza. And there are reasonable cases to be made there. Right? Even I, who am obviously a big supporter of Israel, I'm starting to realise that it seems to me that Netanyahu, unfortunately, seems to be a hostage of his own previous corruption, and to unfortunately having to acquiesce to the far right wing of his own government. Would anyone else agree with
What
that?
corruption, Ian?
What's that?
What corruption are you talking about?
With Netanyahu?
Yeah.
Well, the allegations that have been made against him with, receiving gifts from various different directions.
Oh wow, a couple gifts. What an amazing corruption trail of corruption, Ian. Maybe you should check the corruption trail and double check it before you accuse people of corruption.
Well, I've seen a lot of information on it, David. I'm just saying it's an allegation. Why does he have to bring in far right-wing
He was trying to form a coalition so he could be, because he could, so be, that's how the government.
to stay in power, right? Then
Well,
you never have to
I mean,
done that.
if you were running for prime minister, wouldn't you want to do that?
That happens to every single politician, though.
That's not the point. The point is, like, when you run for office, that's, you want to win. You don't run for office to lose.
Correct.
I agree.
Correct.
I agree. Okay, and by the way, I'm not saying that Netanyahu's a terrible person or anything, right? I just think.
Well, based on what? Well, why would you say he was even a terrible person to begin with? Where's it come from?
I never said he was a terrible person at all. I'm just saying.
He said he has a trail of corruption. That's like saying he's a terrible person, Ian.
Yeah, but everyone has every politician, with no offense to anybody who's a politician.
Guys, I say that he's a terrible person. You have to listen, okay?
There's terrible people that do terrible things. Like,
I agree. Politics is rife with corruption.
For the record, I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the reason why liberals across the West were marching for Palestinians the very next day, because it was never about October 7th, or even about Gaza. It's about their worldview. They see everything through this oppressor versus oppressed mindset. To them, Israel is automatically the oppressor, and Palestinians automatically the oppressed, no matter the fact. So when Hamas butchered all these civilians, they didn't stop to think. They didn't stop to think anything. They already had the story written. That's why they were waving flags on October 8th before Israel even responded. It's had nothing to do with compassion. It's just pure ideology. They needed a cause, and hating Israel is the easiest one to grab. That's why they grabbed it.
So what is your point? What are you saying?
I'm responding to Ian's.
That was a fantastic response. That's exactly the reason, right? And this is the left wing across the board in the West has lost its mind. They live in a fairy tale land.
Okay. So what you?
Yeah, we know, Ian. It's called Clown World. We're fighting against Clown World all day, every day in this reality. Congratulations, Ian. You've discovered Clown World.
So what I notice here in Europe is that not only liberals but more so leftists are saying, and I used to be in the climate movement, so I used to be surrounded by these people, is they genuinely think that Palestinians are interested in secularism, democracy, egalitarian, one-state solution with equal rights. I've never heard a Palestinian be interested. I've never heard actually any country in the Middle East except Israel be interested in becoming this egalitarian state with human rights for everybody. The Palestinians are very clear that they want a traditional, fundamentalist, Islamic Arab society. Palestina, that's what they scream.
It's so stupid. I mean, their perspective.
But people in the West understands that point.
Yeah, for people that are all day, every day.
Hold on. I need to. Rishi, hold on. I need to ask Ian. Ian, where in Scotland are you from?
So I'm from near Edinburgh.
Near Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, so I did art school. I was in the climate movement. For people that are so obsessed with Palestinians, I found it very strange that they don't seem to understand or don't seem to hear what Palestinians actually have to say, because Palestinians never said that they are interested in liberal egalitarianism. They want Sharia law. They want a caliphate. They want a caliphate for their imaginary Mahdi, for their imaginary Messiah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Wait, so what did the Palestinians have to say?
Palestinians clearly say Palestina Arabia on their own protest, which climate activists walk alongside them. Palestinians scream Khaybar Khaybar al
Is that what means, like, kill the Jews? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah, Khaybar Khaybar al Yahud means basically kill all the Jews, and Palestina Arabia means Palestine is Arab. They don't say Palestine is the Holy Land. They don't say Palestine is for Jews and Arabs. They say Palestine is only for Arabs. So these not only liberals, leftists, socialists, climate activists, anarchists, Marxists, that are walking alongside these people on Tifa, they genuinely don't even know what Palestinians are. They are walking around wearing a red keffiyeh. A red keffiyeh is Jordanian Bedouin, by the way. So they have created an alternative reality, especially queers from Palestine. They have created an alternative reality. They try to force me to become part of it as well. I said I'm not going to be part of that, but they try to force me. They have created a total different reality, and then they're going to hate me because I actually went there. I actually been surrounded by these people, and they're going to act like I don't know. They're going to tell me that I need to educate myself.
Well, for Palestine, if they ever managed to go over there and see how long they would last.
Yeah, when they
got angry when I pulled the receipts of the beheadings of this Palestinian boy that who converted to Christianity, that fled to Israel, that was kidnapped by his family after they found out that he was gay. They kidnapped him to Hebron and then beheaded him in an honor killing. I mentioned that and they got angry at me. I was being Islamophobic.
But okay, so like the queers from Palestine, I don't understand that, but
Why don't you understand it, David? Aren't you one of them?
wow.
Well, it just showcases how ignorant they are. It just showcases how ignorant they are.
Palestine is that every gay person growing up in Western Europe knows that Muslims are the biggest homophobic people living in Europe. The majority of the rest of Europe has no problem with gay people. Even the people that are more conservative, they are not screaming on the streets, they are not beating us up, they are not stabbing us, they are not throwing acid in our faces. That's Muslim people. So what gay people think, how to fix homophobia, is if we're gonna support the Muslims, then they will support us back. It's this whole comrade thinking, this whole solidarity thinking way, and the Muslim community said, oh, these queer people are marching with us for Palestine and against Islamophobia. They are expecting us now to march with them against homophobia, but we're not gonna do that. So these gay people, they need to stop.
That's that. I mean, it is sad in a way. You have to have like some empathy, which I do. Like, can you imagine being? It's like when you're a dog. It's like you are kind like dogs love you. I think. I don't know, but I think they do. Like they seems like a lot of them do show compassion and they care and they're protective. But at the same time, they're like super predictable. It's just like if you, okay, like for example, my stepmother's elderly father lives with my parents, right? And he's like 96, and he'll like eat at the table, and like sometimes like like food will drop, and so the two dogs, one of them passed away a few months ago, but there's the remaining dog. They would just like sit there, like staring up at him, waiting for like food to drop, just to eat it. Like, and then like they do everything perfectly just to get treats. They'll like, you want to go outside and go potty, and it's like even if they probably don't have to go, it's like, fuck yeah, I'm getting a treat. But like there are people who maybe like him, they're very predictable in terms of they look at people for. Basically, they're just things that can be used, or people are things that can be used in order to gain like a benefit. And so, like every interaction is rather superficial. They realize that being flattering and having superficial charm will get you kind of like in with their good graces, and exploit that. And then if you see like a vulnerability where they trusted you too much, and there so happens to be a way you can take advantage of them, they'll do it. You know, it's just how those people are. It is a lifelong thing. Like their brain is literally different from a normal person's. And so I do. There's people with like borderline personality disorder, which are they're just saying like you probably don't want to be in an intimate relationship with them. But you know, it's not that they're like inherently bad people. Their personality traits are such that they cannot behave or interact with people in a quote unquote normal way.
Are you projecting?
No. What do you have to say, you stupid fuck?
Well, I mean, you know, you slander me, you libel me, you defame me, and...
Well, you're mentally ill, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can project all you want. I mean, you just projected yourself as a dog for the past 2 minutes, so, you know, go look in the mirror, you dirty dog.
Go jerk off in front of the 50 bones you have out, faggot.
Alright, I will, faggot. Thanks for all the content over the years, Pepe. Are you getting paid doing what you're doing?
Have you gotten paid?
Yeah, I just raised $520 for my campaign for Congress. What have you ever done with your life?
Hopefully you don't get finance fraud, your finance, campaign fraud, whatever.
Yeah, don't worry. I keep everything kosher over here. That means within the limits of the law.
Yeah.
I mean, how long are you going to create hate speech rooms? The rest of your life? You ever going to get a... When was the last time you went out on a date and said to a girl, you look beautiful tonight. You smell amazing. Can I get you dinner?
Oh, that's been several years. I don't need a simple...
Wow, several years. Do you technically define yourself as an incel? Are you technically an incel?
No.
Alright, well, I mean, I'm just asking a question.
I've been more, well, I don't know why you're acting. I mean, like, I have, like, a disgusting body count. Like, it's not...
What's your body count? How disgusting is your body count? What's your number?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. You just brought it up. You can't just, say you got a disgusting body count.
I don't think works with people that are, like, the elder millennials or the Gen X. That incel shit does not work with us. You know, you're about my age. You know how fucking ridiculously easy it was to get fucking laid. We grew up before social media when we were young adults. It was fucking easy. It didn't take much work.
It still doesn't take much work. You just need money and some confidence.
I'm saying, I'm sure with our generation it doesn't either. But like with the young guys, I mean, maybe that could be a thing. I don't fucking know. Statistically, the young guys are fucking a whole lot less. I don't know what else to say.
I know, but my gripe with you is you ruined my campaign manager, aka Mojo Positive Vibration. You ran him off, and he was platforming me and helping me raise funds. So if you're gonna fill the void, I guess can you pin the link? I'll put it in the chat.
Well, I'll have to consult with my Jewish, she probably won't give me legal advice.
Don't consult with Abby. She's already contributed to APAC, and APAC is given to Darren LaHood.
That's exactly who I was going to ask. I would have to ask Abby. I have a strong feeling she's going to say no. I don't know what you want me to do about that. I'm not an illegal expert. I would just ask one. Do you have any other questions to ask me?
Yeah, when was the last time you read a book?
It's been a few years.
You think you're suffering from brain rot?
Do you have to read a book to be smart?
Generally, if you want to become intelligent, you read these things called books. They're external hard drives with a lot of information in them.
Amazing. So, I mean, I don't know, like most books, even in college, you didn't have to read most of the books.
Really? You didn't read any books in college, huh? Amazing.
Right.
Nick, I mean, you're a CPA. You probably read a couple books on accounting, on a lot of information with regards to accounting. Go ahead, Nick. Tell Pepe what a book is and how it helps overcome brain rot.
Well, my brother was a CPA even, and he also went to law school, and he was my middle brother was probably the smartest out of the three of us, my brothers. But like law school, he was saying like you had to read constantly. It was like nonstop. You had to fucking read. Oh, is he a taxation attorney then, Pepe? I'm not doxing my brother. No. What I'm saying is like if he went to school for accounting, I thought it was a lot of. I thought that was John asking. No, he's a CFO. He ended up. So basically, while he was in law school, he was working in the. He was working. Really not going to get into it, but he was doing really well. In fact, his job is way better than what he would have gotten like working in the legal field. So he just stayed, in that field, and it's a field where like all of his student loan debt got paid off already, where they paid it off for it. Yeah, like certain companies do that. Like if you work for X amount of years, they'll basically pay off your student loans if they really want you. Yeah, so it's like $200,000. Go. Yep. It's like kind of like your compensation, like / sign-on bonus. Yeah, some companies do that. Yep.
Well, anyways, I was just bringing up that Pepe hasn't read a book in years, and it's like he got kicked in the head by a donkey.
So what's your excuse, John? Why are you always...
Oh, I got no excuses. I'm running for Congress, and I read books.
So? And?
Well, I put the link in the chat. Why don't you grab your heart,
Why are you always
grab your
telling
wallet?
me I'm stupid? What's your excuse?
No, I just come here to roast you two because you're schmucks.
We never get roasted.
Oh, you roast yourself every second you open your mouth.
I always roast your ass into the hallway.
Yeah, you can pretend you're roasting me.
She will roast you. She will roast you.
Yeah, I'm all open. I'm down to go to the barbecue party. Roast on.
Roast on? What? What do you mean you're down to go to the barbecue party?
Well, when you roast me, you're actually roasting yourself. You just admitted you haven't read a book in years.
Shut up.
Do you use bleach on your underwear before you go live on those live streams and do yoga?
Yeah, I know you said I got poopy pee-pee on my undie pants when I do my yoga videos, but you're the one thinking about me spreading my legs in the sun with poopy pee-pee, underpants.
It's not that I'm thinking about it, it's just that you do it.
This is such an idiotic conversation.
Well, you brought it up yesterday, and you weren't even watching the video, so I'm just saying you think about it.
Well, I know you're talking about how I can't get laid, but I know you really can't get laid. Have you ever thought about... No, I understand. You're feeling a little... You wanted to celebrate. I got $500.
It's a big victory, and people think...
Myself an escort.
People...
And you probably told her she was beautiful. You probably told her she was beautiful, and she probably was like... And then, kind of looked away, and then when you nutted in her or something like that. I don't know.
Are you projecting again?
I've never done a hooker. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying we raised the money so we can get on-the-ground operations to get our petition signed in Rockford, Peoria, and we're doing it. We're going to get on the ballot in March, and it's all because of guys like you, Pepe, and incredible women like you, Mon.
I think you're going to get on. Yeah, I think you're going to get subpoenaed and then go in front of a grand jury. And then,
oh yeah, you think I'm going to get subpoenaed in front of a grand jury for raising money, running for Congress?
No, because you're mentally ill, so that it'll work.
Again, you're projecting, Pepe.
I'm projecting. Oh, Mason.
You're the one who comes on here and say you want to kill hitchhikers and dissolve them in baths of acid. Who's got the mental health problem? The guy running for Congress, or the guy who comes on here and makes homicidal ideation all day long?
Be a person of interest in missing hitchhikers. I did not say that I actually did it. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I got you on record saying all kinds of terrible things about wanting to murder people and dissolve them in baths of acid. I don't know, is that normal to come on a social audio chat app to be social and talk about killing people all day long, Pepe?
Disavow.
Yeah, go look in the mirror and disavow yourself.
I didn't know that I didn't pick a woman up in my truck, and she didn't just like wander off, and then all of a sudden she was found like, I don't know, 5 years later in a mine shaft. They're like, oh hey, we saw this video. It's not my fucking problem.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he speaks for himself.
That's such a big gotcha.
You're your own worst enemy, Pepe.
Yeah, I can say this. You detectives, which are investigating the murder, when you questioned me about it, you're correct. I pushed her into the mine shaft.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. Pepe just admitted to murdering somebody. Congratulations, Pepe. The FBI will be at your house tomorrow by 10 a.m.
Those detectives that were questioning me whether or not I did it, I just want to say, detectives, John ended up getting the answer out of me. Thank him, give him his $50,000 reward that leads to the reward for solving this murder. He did it. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Great work. Thank you so much, Mon, Nick, audience. We finally got...
Yeah, the only problem is I've never been investigated, and there's never been, like, detectives who questioned me about somebody's disappearance, dumbass. And I never drove a truck, you fucking retard.
Well, I mean, you'll have to explain the recordings. It's up to you to explain the truth.
Yeah, amazing. I was never a truck driver, and I never got questioned by detectives, so I mean, that's why I can make that kind of a troll, dumbass, because there's going to be zero record of me being questioned for somebody's disappearance. And I was never a truck driver. Jesus Christ. There's not one trucking company that'd be like, yes, he was employed by me. There's not one police department, sheriff's department, any law enforcement agency that's going to be like, oh yes, we did inquire about a missing person. It never happened. And you know I'm smarter than that, you dumbass.
Really? You think you're smart? You haven't read a book in years.
And you pose as shit-stained, boxers doing yoga with 50 cell phones in your apartment, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, look at Matt. He's got a picture of the guy I'm running against, Darren LaHood, who's created $20 trillion in debt.
Darren LaHood, if Darren LaHood would like to come on here, I would love to give him my endorsement.
Yes, Pepe, yes.
Darren LaHood for the win.
Why is Matt, screaming out in ecstasy, yes, Pepe, yes, Pepe, yes? Matt, get a life. You go around, you accuse me of not being MAGA, you and Adams, you try to strategically defeat my campaign. All I gotta say is, Matt, did my campaign stop last night like you suggested? No, it didn't. You're all fucking talk, Matt.
Nobody
You're
really
all
cares
hot air,
who's
Matt.
coming on stage to ask you any questions or to speak to you at all. Nobody's giving a fuck.
Well, that's typical of you, Mon. Typical of your type.
Nobody's giving a fuck about your type.
It's true. You're actually fulfilling your own stereotype.
You nothing. Nobody's giving one.
Well, you're fulfilling your own stereotype. I don't know what to tell you, Mon. It's the Mon and Pepe show. And now they got Matt.
The white side of her stereotype. She's being honest. I'm just kidding. I don't want the black community to attack her because I said that.
Well, you two will dig your own graves, and so will Matt. And Matt, I gotta tell you, you ate your words yesterday. You want to admit it?
Okay, record this. I have been investigated for the deaths and/or disappearances of 200 women. I'm the most prolific, maybe serial killer in the world. There are departments across the country that are investigating me for the deaths or disappearances of women, and they have not been able to nab me. But I admit to all of those. I admit to all of them. I'll lie to every one of those detectives' faces. Amazing.
You're talking about that black...
Amazing.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
You're talking about that black truck driver, right?
Yeah, yes, I was a truck driver. I drove a big rig, and it had like, I don't know, 9 gears or some shit, and amazing. Yeah, man. You know what's funny is that Jay is kind of desperate for content to prove that and so he'll probably say, look at Pepe here. He's saying that these detectives interviewed him. They accused him of a missing girl. I don't think he's trolling, guys. I don't think he's trolling. I think this is real sick, unhinged individual here. You know, he's crazy. He's sick. Okay, dumbass. Obviously, you know, you can troll like that when that's like literally never happened. You were never a truck driver. It's like nobody's gonna look into it.
Listen, Matt, you can eat your words. Yesterday, Matt in the morning, we did a 2-hour show, and he says, "Hey, John, your campaign's going to be finished by fucking 10 p.m. tonight. It's over. Tonight is the end of your campaign." Well, Matt, we're still campaigning, so, you know, I hope you ate your words, and today you realized, you know what, I'm a schmuck. And John's right. Pepe hasn't read a book in years, and he's got brain rot, and Mon is his brain rot sidekick.
Yep, okay, well, you know what, we're done with you.
Stupid.
Darren LaHood for Congress, okay? John Kitover, you belong in your apartment in your piss-stained underwear, doing yoga and doing whatever stupid shit you've been doing. Yeah, that's just that. You don't belong. I can't imagine you. Like, what would you say the first time you got to speak in Congress? Like, what kind of stupid shit would you be doing?
I would declare that brain rot is a national pandemic and it's an emergency, and people like Pepe and Mon, brain rot suffers, and Matt too, you got brain rot.
Well, why are you in this room then?
To fucking roast you, bitch.
To roast you, John.
To roast you, bitch.
You sound like a raggedy bitch.
John, fuck you.
Go suck your own dick, bitch.
Yeah, the back, bitch.
Stay away from daycares. I'm serious. Darren LaHood's gonna lock your ass up, bitch. You say projection with those lips? Like, it's so fucking weird.
Charlie. Yeah. Oh,
No.
hey, say, I want to say Charlie. Yeah, Madison, I heard you too.
See?
Just tisk.
You heard I was a what up? No, here's the thing. Jay's running with this narrative that I doxed. And so here's my challenge, and what has been my challenge to him is like, show me where I doxed anybody. Like where I released your name, your address, your family members, social security numbers, which I don't know how to get. Any at your place of employment, that's never happened. And you know, Jay was given this challenge a couple days ago. It's like, find a clip anywhere, going back years even, where you've heard me do this, and there's $1,000 for you. He can't do it. And so, long story short, Roger came on here season 1, so a lot of people knew his first name. Now, this was like a while ago. Somebody said, when talking about Roger, they were referring to him. They said like, "Oh, he looks like Butterbean" or some shit like that. And I was like, "Oh, you seen him?" He's like, "Yeah." And he did a podcast online using the original name he came on here with another prominent person on Clubhouse. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll just like screenshot that video. and I screenshotted, his face, but I like blocked it. I blacked his name out, and I used it as my PTR. And so now there's like this narrative that I'm like doxing him. That never happened. And so like the one room where I trashed Jay, like yesterday or the day before, I forget. It's the one replay that I left on White America. It's like the only the replay I left on there, and it was me talking shit about him, but I didn't dox anybody. So no, it's fucking retarded. I definitely didn't dox anybody. So basically I laid out all of my claims like in there, in that room, and there's like amongst like Clubhouse with us whiteys, there's kind of been a fight brewing amongst like some of the more like prominent content creators that were on here. Like Jay kind of weaseled his way onto the he weaseled his way into a lot of platforms on here. Million Marathon, which ended up Nelson Pega, Jonathan Bing ended up exposing him because he was trying to take advantage of a lot of women on here. He distributed their nudes, and he did it to. He even sent like this woman who was making these claims like nudes to them, to the Million Marathon team. And that was when they're like, dude, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They dropped him. He used to dick suck me when I was making rooms a couple years ago, like on a daily basis, and they were large. And then, like, he came on after October 7th, he kind of, so he's not a Jew. Just so you know, he was, and Jewish Clubhouse will tell you that. Everybody will tell you that. He's not a Jew. He identified as Jewish afterwards. He then, there were two people on this app that were affected by October 7th. In Israel, Shlomo and Jake, they were both working security, and Jewish Clubhouse overall, they know these two people. Shlomo's actually on this app now. But Jake, both of those individuals were working security at the Nova festival. Jake was killed by the terrorists. Shlomo, he ended up basically being taken hostage in Gaza. He was rescued, and there was a lot of there's video evidence of this rescue because it was a very risky rescue, but it was months, if not even over a year after he was kidnapped. But a lot of people didn't know on this app whether or not he was dead or alive, and he was claiming that, like, oh, my friends on this app, Jake and Shlomo, they were taken by, Hamas. He was never friends with them. He never knew them. Jewish Clubhouse will tell you this. He was claiming, like, he was grifting. He was doing all of this stupid shit. I ended up turning on to him at that point because I saw, like, what a liar he was and how he acted differently. Because that was the first time I saw him get, like, an audience with a mod badge. And I was just like, wow, this guy is, like, not well. And I'll go, and in that room that I recorded, I go over, a lot of it. And it's, I don't want to, like, relitigate it. But it was sickening. But long story short, I do think Roger is a piece of shit and an asshole. Like, no doubt. He's somebody who's he acts like he's smarter and better than everybody. Like I said, he made fun of fat people quite a bit. And he's a fat motherfucker, and I put his PTR, or his picture in my PTR. He's somebody who, I obviously know his record. He does not make any money. I didn't dox anything about his where he works, what he does, any of that. But he is not somebody who makes money. And and a lot of the for the last couple of days, a lot of the people that were season 1 Clubhouse, they're like, dude, that's not doxing. Like, this was common knowledge to all of us. And that's how I even ended up finding out about this shit, is on Clubhouse. I only put his PTR up, and I did tell people, like, dude, this guy does not make the kind of money he would brag, like he would say he did, which he used to do to me all the time. Like, he would say he made as much money as doctors and so forth, as the professional class in the United States. And at the time, it's like, well, I don't know what the motherfucker does for a living. Maybe he does. But it's all just like it's all fabricated. And so it's like, dude, if you want to be an asshole, he was an asshole to me often, but he's an asshole to a lot of people. Dude, like, you don't have the legs to stand on. Why are you doing that? Like, I'm known as a shit talker on this fucking app, but I don't sit here and say how I make a bunch of money. I'm super important. This is my title. In real life, this is my position. I don't do that shit. But, he does. Which I think is just so fucking lame.
A real gangster doesn't tell you that they're a gangster. I said a real G don't have to tell you that they're a G.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, there are people that, obviously have money on this app that we can all think of. But it's just so... To me, it's just so pathetic when you're somebody who has, like, I don't have a lot of money. Like, I'm upfront about it. Like, I'm not somebody who has a lot of money. But I don't, like... The last thing I want to do is, like, flex like I'm somebody who has, I don't know, like this, a lot of money or some prestige or some shit, which to me, it's like, what's more pathetic is lying about who you are. Like, you can actually go from being, hey, you're not, like, in the best spot or something like that, and then actually become something and do something. But what you can't do is, once you're figured out to be like a fucking fraud or a phony, there's no recovering from that. Like, people don't trust you afterwards. And to me, I just don't have respect for those kinds of people. And Roger is one of them. Like, I think he would... I'm somebody who does, like, offensive trolling, has offensive opinions, and I put a lot of comedy into it, but I don't